left in the second half. So they were knocked around a bit. For the Regents just joining us, welcome. We'll reset you in a moment. Here's Clemens on the option. Good play, cuts back inside on the keeper out to the 20-yard line. You know, they've been calling less and less plays for Clemens as the season has progressed. He was really taking some hits early on in the season.
Well, you get a chance to look at the triple option. First to fake the Whitehead. Now Clemens options the outside man and then cuts back himself, and you can see the danger. When you have your quarterback running back into the middle of the field where linebackers and strong safeties roam, that's why they want to limit the amount of times he runs the ball, but he's so effective with his legs, you can't take it out of the offense.
4.5 to play, first quarter. Inside shuttle pass on the option, and Whitehead gets out to the 24-yard line. For those of you who joined us earlier, Arizona State blocked a field goal, drove the length of the field, and then who else? Keller too? Who, JJ?
Derek Hagan, arguably the best receiver in the entire Pac-10. Did a nice job with patience on that route, setting up Finney, the little head and shoulder fake to the outside, easy touchdown throw.
And then on the next series, an interception by Jamar Williams led to a field goal by Ainsworth. We're back at Tempe. Bill McDonald, John Jackson, Lindsey Soto. Clemens over the middle, incompletes. Threw it into a crowd and behind the intended receiver, Demetrius Williams, who was looking for a flag. And it'll be third down. You know, this is a pretty good group of receivers for Oregon when you're talking about Williams, Colvin, Finley, Jason Williams. And they got a couple of good tight ends too, and Rosario and Day.
Probably the deepest receiving core in the entire Pac-10 from top to bottom. Demetrius Williams, obviously the standout that gets most of the attention, but Colvin, Weatherspoon, Garen Strong, James Finley, they all can play.
Oregon on the year, 46% conversion on third down, and they desperately need one here to feel like they're back in the game early in the first quarter, and they've got it gunned over the middle, caught. First down out to the 37-yard line. That's Kyle Weatherspoon, the junior, grabbing the first down pass.
Nice job of patience by Kellen Clemens. Looks out and then comes back into the middle. You can see how his eyes sort of set that play up. He looked to the outside receiver on the sideline and came right back down the middle into the seam and made a nice, strong throw.
All right, for those of you who are watching, Colorado beat A&M. Welcome again. A 21-point win for the Buffs. Pac-10 Saturday night here. Jonathan Stewart in the backfield. He's going to get it. Bull his way. Look, hat off. Cut to the 43-yard line. You know, there was a run earlier this year. He carried a host of tacklers, 25 yards for a score. Hollifield made the stop inside. Boy, they are so high on this. Jonathan Stewart, 5'11", 228, and a freshman. Yeah,
he's going to be one of the best backs to ever play at the University of Oregon, and it's because he has that combination of size as well as strength.
Highly recruited out of the state of Washington, set a high school record in that state for yardage during his career. Second down, down 10-0 with Stewart in the back. Clemens inside, fake the draw, keeps it, nowhere. Mike Talbot right there from the D-line, a 6'2" senior. A little undersized at 244, but he was right there to stop the quarterback.
Now, one thing Gary Croton, offensive coordinator, is going to have to remember is that his offensive line is huge up front. This is a very big offensive line. Only one player that actually weighs under 300 pounds.
The first down line is being brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% every day. It's all about the O. Third down, they need to get to the 48-yard line. Whitehead blocks out of the backfield. Clemens in trouble, hit, gets Whitehead on the hot play. He's got it, has room. Whitehead outside. First down, plenty more. In Devil territory, making some great moves down to the 27-yard line. Caldwell finally came all the way down, combining with Peyton. Boy, that is good presence of mind to dump it out to Whitehead for the first down.
That's why you have a senior quarterback. He can make veteran moves like this. He buys enough time, dishes it to the outlet in Whitehead, and watch. This is the Whitehead of old that everybody in Oregon remembers. Able to make plays in the open field, cut back against the grain. Very tough runner, tough to bring down. That's a great play, great presence of mind by Clemens, and a great second effort by Whitehead.
Well, you're right, JJ. He looks like a different player than from the beginning of the year. Timeout ASU, their first. They've got 2 more to spend, 2:03 remaining first quarter. And now getting a little bit of a rhythm, this Oregon offense. We mentioned it's a new offense. It's it's kind of a taste of what Utah was doing, now Urban Meyer down in Florida, what Northwestern is doing, BYU, Texas Tech. It's kind of a combination of a lot of offense.
Right, but remember, in this game against Arizona State, this is a smaller Arizona State defense, but very quick. The offensive line for Oregon, extremely big. They have everybody's over 300 pounds except Lucas, who's the center, at 296. So they have a huge weight advantage up front, and they can actually wear this defense down if they continue to stay patient in the run game. I think Coach Crow needs to go at this defense, not go around them with the option.
And you know what's interesting, JJ, is the fact that ASU's seen a very similar offense in Northwestern earlier this year, and they pounded Northwestern, although they admit that Oregon probably has some better athletes, but maybe not. Northwestern got a big win today over Wisconsin. Kind of a shocker there.
They did have some
Big Ten.
They did have some good preparation in trying to get ready for this
With that
offensive
Northwestern
attack. Exactly. They're totally different, much better athletes. We've yet to see Dennis Dixon, the quarterback for Oregon, who comes in and brings them another dimension in terms of running from the quarterback position.
And we will see Dixon a little faster than Kellen. And, you know, Kellen knows that Dixon has to take some snaps. He's the future, the sophomore. Clemens the senior. He's been fine with that with Coach Bellotti. But there is no real set plan when Dixon will come in, but we certainly expect to see him. First down, 28-yard line. Now it's Jeremiah Johnson, who had a good game last week, in the backfield, and he gets the football. Cuts back inside, slithers down to the 23. So they go 4 deep in the backs. We haven't even seen Terrell Jackson yet.
And that's a look at the old Oregon offense. 2 tight ends lined up, and they just go downhill to zone play right at that Arizona State defense. That's where the success came last week against USC. The Trojans had success running off tackle, getting the backs going downhill immediately.
And Coach Bellotti couldn't help himself. He told us earlier in the week, yeah, I'm bringing back some of the old plays because he knows they work. Up the middle again, power football, as JJ alluded to. They've got some beef up front, and they can play a little smash mouth with the Sun Devils. Very close to a first down across the 20-yard line.
When they run over the right side, we talked about Lucas at 296, Masoon at 340, and Schwartz at 366. I mean, there's over 700 pounds and 2 players on the right side. You can't help but get pushed with that offense.
Well, you're able to run on the Devils. They've allowed 189 yards a game on the ground. Stewart, a big back, is in. Third down and short. Stewart gets the call, hits the line, moves it a bit. Is a fumble? Is it on the floor? If it is, and it's Arizona State's football. Smith was there, perhaps the one to recover as Stewart laid it on the carpet.
Well, they get the push, and look at Stewart go into the middle of the line.
Oh.
Who else is it with that big hit? Dale Robinson, the star middle linebacker for Arizona State. Anytime there's big plays being made, you can guarantee that he's going to be in the middle of that fray. That time a big hit, helmet right on the ball, jars it loose. Sun Devils with a big recovery.
Robinson, who moves inside for really first and second down, and they put him on the edge, kind of a Terrell Suggs type in passing downs. Short pass, short gain, 21-yard line as Arizona State now back out there, and there's Rudy Burgess as the stop is made by Nata.
I like what Dirk Cutter is doing early in this game in terms of the play calling with his offense. He knows that Oregon they're coming in hyped up. They know they need to get pressure on Sam Keller, but what they have done is thrown a lot of screens and draws to slow down the rush for Oregon so they get the ball down the field.
Time winding down first quarter. Just seconds remaining in it. Herring has the football, works it outside. Oh, good tackle. Nice play by Patrick Chung. He's only a freshman, ran him down, and that will be that for the first 15 minutes. Great night of football here in Tempe, Arizona. Kyocera, little college football Saturday. It's the Pac-10, one of the top 20 teams in the country right now, jumping on top, 10-0. Second quarter action when we come back right after this. Stay with us.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Some people are happier at work than others. They're using Kyocera printers and copiers. Kyocera, brilliant color, advanced technology that's simple to use, and a low cost of ownership. They're people-friendly. People-friendly printers and copiers. Only from Kyocera.
The whole world smiles with you.
Nobody can do what Maaco does. Maaco can repaint your entire car fast, in most cases just a few days. Our economical Ambassador paint service is only $1.99. Maaco delivers a quality paint service for less. How does Maaco do all this for as little as $1.99? Easy, because we paint more than anyone, and we can paint them for less. When it's time to paint your car, make it easy, make it right, make it Maaco.
These chili cheese fries are making me full.
You don't have to finish them. You just.
Charlie, you wanna?
What the?
Wow.
Who's this guy?
Calling in a sub.
How long has he been sitting in the back of my car?
It's always back there.
Always back there?
Yeah. Cherry limeade, buddy? I thought he was a buddy of yours.
Game day food. Nothing goes better with sports than Sonic's chili cheese fries, the official food of armchair quarterbacks. It's not just good, it's Sonic good.
Witness the baddest men on the planet in the Pride Fighting Championships. October 16th on FSN.
On a comfortable evening, and you know, they can get pretty warm during the days here, even in the fall in Arizona. I think it's comfortable by Arizona standards. Would be considered warm despite everywhere else. Now the Sun Devils will bring it out there 0 for 2 on third down. Keller is 5 for 6, over 50 yards and a score. Third down and 9. Keller, pressured, flips it. Burgess, boy, he's surrounded. And down he goes at the 15-yard line. They might give him forward progress to the 16 as he was sliding backwards, but great pursuit by the Duck defense, and they'll get it after the punt. Anthony Trucks was all over it.
Good pressure up front. Toina was able to make that swim move inside of the tackle to put the immediate pressure on Keller, flush him out of the pocket, and then the only outlet was to Burgess. But the big thing is for Oregon, they come up with that third down stop.
Chris McDonald, driving punt. Finney up the middle, has some room. Justin Finney, good return to the 43-yard line. 51-yard punt. The Ducks bring it back into Sun Devil territory. We're in the desert tonight.
Again, the fate of our world is at hand. But this time, there will be no tournament. This time, you must take the fight out of the arena and defeat these enemies in their realm.
Journey beyond the arena into a world of action and adventure. Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks. Rated M for mature.
Cars from $500. Homes as low as $199 a month. Have you heard about Bargain Network, where you can save big money on homes and cars? Thousands of cars that are repossessed and seized by the U.S. Customs, IRS, FBI, and private organizations are sold every day. Find foreclosed homes and distressed properties for as low as $199 a month. And we can also help you get the money you need while you're on the phone. So call now to find out how many cars and homes are available in your area.
Call now, 800-771-7080.
Kyocera presents college football Saturday here on FSN, Coast to Coast. Next week, our college football doubleheader begins. The former conference rivals square off as Temple takes on the 8th-ranked Miami Hurricanes. Then the Bruins battle Washington State in a Pac-10 showdown. Coverage begins next Saturday with our kickoff show at 1 o'clock in the East, 10 on the West Coast, only on FSN. Bruins embroiled in a great game with Cal, and we got a good one here too as Oregon looks to dent the lead. ASU 2 straight drives with negative yards, so the Duck defense stepping up a bit. Kellen Clemens start this series from the 43. Dante Rosario is the man in motion. Inside, Whitehead spun down at the 37-yard line. Time for another game break. College Football Saturday studio for a Kyocera game break. Here's Mike Goldberg.
Billy Mack, it is final in Happy Valley. Number 18 Penn State beats number 6 Ohio State. The Nittany Lions are 6-0 for the first time since 1999. Their first win over a ranked team since 1999. Win number 349 for 78-year-old Joe Pa. Nittany Lions are back in the national championship picture.
Unbelievable, Mike. Who would have thunk? Penn State rolling. Dale Robinson makes the play along with Maurice London. They're the Hogs.
Yeah, I was here last week when Arizona State played the Trojans, and this place was deafening loud. Over 70,000 fans filled up Sun Devil Stadium, and it was extremely loud down on the field. It caused the Trojans all kinds of problems. So far, it doesn't appear that Oregon is having much problems hearing the signals.
First down. Jeremiah Johnson is the back with Sario dancing in line. Whoa! Johnson and Clemens ran into each other. Momentarily lost the football. Quarterback to running back. Somebody's not on the same page.
Now, you know Oregon will rotate 4 running backs in the backfield, and this is one of the problems you have when you have so many running backs rotating with your quarterback. As often there's going to be miscommunication or guys take different angles. You can see Clemens and Johnson not on the same page, and Clemens lucky to get back on that one.
They are taking, admittedly so, baby steps with this offense. A lot to soak in, a lot to learn. Whitehead has 99 total yards, 20 more than the entire ASU team. He's got the football again. So he has been the workhorse. Over 100 total yards as he gets it down to the 25. Jamar Williams on the tackle. Let's go down to the sidelines and Lindsay.
Billy, you're talking about the freshman having trouble holding on to the ball. Jonathan Stewart fumbled on the last drive. Coaches did not yell at him when he came off the field. Instead, running back coach Gary Campbell talked to him calmly. Kellen Clemens came over also in the 2 practiced handoffs. Clemens keeping the freshman's spirits up, gave him a high five before they came back out.
Thank you, Linz. They're 2 out of 3 Oregon on 3rd down attempts. They are in another one here. Here comes the house. Everybody coming in. The receiver broke out. The ball went long. Incomplete. 4th down. And they have kicker issues, as we mentioned before. Demetrius Williams, the intended receiver. It would be about a 43-yard attempt. Matt Evanson again will come in. Remember, Martinez is the regular kicker, the junior, who twice has been Pac-10 Special Teams Player of the Week, but he is hurt with that leg injury.
And he's been spectacular on field goal, 15 of 19 on the season.
One's already blocked tonight. Let's see if the Devils get back at it again. Evanson, plenty of distance. He's got it. Drove into that one. So the backup kicker has 3. Oregon on the board. 10-3, Sun Devils.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm waiting.
Come on, let's go.
Where?
Over there. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, you know what a skid plate is for? Off-road stabilizer bars? A locking rear differential? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jerry!
Chevy Silverado, an American Revolution.
Right now, Old Chicago has a pizza deal you can really sink your teeth into. It's Old Chicago's $8.99 Create Your Own Pizza Meal Deal.
Ooh, yeah.
The meal, a delicious individual pizza with your choice of thin crust or our new thick, buttery Chicago-style crust. Plus any 3 toppings and a free side salad, all for only $8.99. This tasty deal won't last long, so hurry in today. Old Chicago. Eat, drink, be yourself.
I promise. The all-new Chevy Impala gets an estimated 31 highway miles per gallon.
Malibu LS with 32.
Cobalt LS, 34.
And Aveo with 35.
I promise that Chevy Tahoe has best-in-class fuel economy.
We even took a Silverado and created the first full-size hybrid pickup truck.
I promise fuel economy is just as important to Chevy as it is to you.
That's a Chevy Total Value Promise.
Chevy, made for Colorado.
FSN Rocky Mountain, where Rocky Mountain fans come first.
To the Mac, John Jackson and Lindsay Soto. after the 6-play, 18-yard drive capped off by the field goal. 10-3. Sun Devils on top of the Ducks of Oregon. Oregon comes in 4-1 on the year after that disappointing 5-6 season last year. 1-1 in the Pac-10. Arizona State 3-2. And their 2 losses to top 5 teams. LSU in the game that was moved here. A game they, well, could have, should have won. And then, of course, the game against the Trojans last week. Another game that really they could have won. Burgess and Richardson. Special teams, I mentioned, have been sparkling for ASU, except for that game against the Tigers of LSU. They let it get away, special teams-wise in that one. Richardson, another good return, 31 yards and out of bounds, and right now it's down to the sideline again in Lindsay.
Billy, Matt Evanson pulling double duty tonight in addition to his normal kickoff duties. He is also kicking field goals in place of Paul Martinez. I was told that Martinez hurt his thigh earlier in the week. They thought he was okay, but he reported tightness during warm-ups before the game. They were initially going to let him kick the short ones. We'll see if how short it needs to be in order to get him in. That last one wasn't that far out.
Yeah, Martinez was trying to give it a go during warm-ups and kept grabbing the leg. Thus Evanson is in and done well there on that one after getting his first one blocked. Keller inside Burgess, spun around, boy, broke a couple of tackles, and he swarmed under by the green, yellow, and white of the Oregon Ducks. Rudy Burgess
pretty much held in check so far in this first half. That's his 3rd rush. Just 13 yards.
You know, when this position was depleted last year, tailback for ASU, he literally raised his hand in a meeting and said, yeah, I'll volunteer, I'll play. He turned out to be a heck of an addition at tailback, Rudy Burgess. 2nd down. Keller, straight back, throws, incomplete. And Keller was popped back at the 25-yard line.
Boy, he did take a shot right in the teeth. Tried to get that ball to Hagan, it was low.
Keller's
Watch
not
the pressure.
Yeah, he's not 100%. He's got about an 80% ankle and shoulder.
Take a look at the route by Hagan. Now Hagan runs a good route. He's open there, just off of his fingertips, but you can't help with that ball being offline because of the pressure on Keller.
Devils on the bagel right now on 3rd down, 0 for 3. Sam Keller, tip, ball in the air, and it falls harmlessly down at the 43, but good job again. Oregon's defense will force another punt. So Nick Galiotti's defense doing the job.
Well, they're doing a nice job of disguising coverage in the secondary. They made the appearance that they were going to put pressure on Keller. They dropped back in coverage. You see the tip ball by Blair Phillips, the middle linebacker, who is getting his 2nd start of his career. Nice job of disguising coverage by Oregon, though, to keep Sam Keller and his ASU offense confused.
Phillips, one of the JC transfers, with a group, the linebackers, a question mark coming in. They're picking up the system. Finney's going to let this one drop and roll. And a good roll for ASU. Dead at the 12-yard line. Boy, the spirit of the Sun Devils alive and well. They're on top. 10:46 remaining in the 2nd.
Where the bold Saguaros raise their arms on high, praying strength for brave tomorrows from the western sky. Where eternal mountains kneel at sunset's gate, here we hail the alma mater, Arizona State.
18-inch wheels, 4-panel panoramic roof, 240 horsepower V6 engine. Everything you'd want in a performance car and can't get on Altima, Accord, or Camry.
Now with Pontiac's Total Value Promise, get more without paying more on a new G6 sedan. Pontiac, official performance machines of the Pac-10.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm waiting.
Come on, let's go.
Where?
Over there. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, you know what a skid plate is for? Off-road stabilizer bars? A locking rear differential? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jerry.
Chevy Silverado, an American Revolution.
Kyocera, college football Saturday on FSN. 10-3, Arizona State over Oregon. And our U.S. Bank Players of the Week. I'll tell you what, Lindell White might get it again.
Yeah,
100 Hughes and Richardson.
197 yards right here on this field with spectacular performance by Lindell White. You see Hughes with 2 interceptions. And the Cal defense only returned 3 starters from a year ago. And then Terry Richardson, he was great a week ago in terms of punt returns and return performance. He led the special teams for Arizona State and really put the Sun Devils up and helped get the Sun Devils that 21-3 lead they had at halftime.
ASU's offense taking a nap. 3 possessions, last 3, minus 11 yards. Now we'll see how the Devil defense can do. Clemens with Whitehead in the backfield. Kellen Clemens lofts it up far sideline, tipped it out of bounds, incomplete flag. There's a flag at the 35-yard line. Cameron Colvin, the former De La Salle product, who came in with plenty of fanfare and hasn't had the huge impact many expected. Prize recruit a couple of years ago. He's battling.
Pass interference, defense number 9. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There the call, automatic first down. Ducks will take it any way they can. Here it is again, JJ.
Well, now when Arizona State puts pressure and they bring a blitz from the outside with the strong safety, it's one-on-one coverage on the outside. You can see the outstretched hand on Colvin. That's what draws the pass interference. Actually, pretty good position by the defensive back, Jones. He was in a good spot, and as a defensive back, you want to try to run the route for the receiver, cut in front of him to prevent him from catching the ball, but you cannot extend your arm.
Latrell Jones, the penalty. Up the middle, Whitehead, 32-yard line. All right, it's College Football Saturday game break time. Our studio, Kyocera game break. Here's Mike.
Billy Mack, a thriller at the Rose Bowl in that battle of the unbeatens. Number 9 Cal, number 16 UCLA. Cal by 5, but 2 like Drew, as Billy Ray Smith would say. Strike again, Drew Olson to Maurice Drew. 1:35 remains, and Cal trails by 1, 41-40.
Mike, reminiscent of the Bruins' comeback against Washington when they came back in the final minute for a winning touchdown. Here, it's back to Clemens, looking long, down the field. Caught! Demetrius Williams, inside the 10, first down, Oregon Ducks.
And did Kellen Clemens show his arm strength on that throw? Flea flicker, the pitch back, plenty of time for Clemens, and he lets it loose. This ball must have traveled 70 yards in the air to Demetrius Williams. Nice job of concentration. You can see how wide open he is at that point. Help from the safety, Maurice London, but not in time.
63 yards, Demetrius Williams. Boy, he and Clemens have chemistry. They're kind of like great jazz artists sometimes, the way they improvise on the field. Terrence Whitehead in the backfield. Clemens on the option. Whitehead, the pitch, looking for the cone. Touchdown! 6 yards on the option, and Oregon has battled back.
Very nice call by Gary Croton, the offensive coordinator. And Kellen Clemens recognizing there's one man to option off of the defensive end. Once he gets Whitehead on the corner, it's one-on-one in the end zone, and the receivers do a nice job of blocking. That's one key to this offense, this triple option attack. The receivers have to block well down the field. That was the key to that touchdown for Whitehead, was good blocking down the field by the receiver.
Extra point time. That one is banged through. When we return, we'll send you our College Football Saturday studio for another update with Mike Goldberg. You're not going to believe it. We'll see you in a minute.
Witness the baddest men on the planet. The Pride Fighting Championships are on FSN.
What a tremendous battle!
Featuring Kazushi Sakuraba, Quentin Jackson, Fedor Emelianenko, and Ken Shamrock. If you think you've seen the ultimate in fighting, you haven't seen anything yet. The Pride Fighting Championships, October 16th on FSN.
Getting a great deal, waiting till later to pay for it, there's nothing better than that.
There's nothing like Furniture Row's anniversary savings event because nothing is expected from you. But these are the final days to take advantage of our Pay Nothing Until 2008 offer, which means no payments, no interest, and no money down. Pay absolutely nothing until 2008. Furniture Row Shopping Center's anniversary savings event. There's nothing better, but you better hurry. This offer ends Wednesday, October 12th.
Comcast High-Speed Internet is the only high-speed internet provider that can bring you the wonderful world of Disney connection. Now on Comcast.net, you get cartoons, movie trailers, music videos, great games, and more. Access free premium content from Disney's Blast, an ad-free world of games and activities for kids. Play in Disney's Toontown, a 3D world where your family lives the life of a toon. And get specially discounted premium memberships for subscribers. Only at Comcast.net. To get Comcast High-Speed Internet, call now.
The best damn sports show period. Weeknights on FSN.
Hi again, everybody. Mike Goldberg coming up on the College Football Saturday Halftime Report. I'll be joined by Billy Ray Smith and DeMarco Farr. We will bring you all the recap from the Rose Bowl. UCLA has intercepted a Cal pass. They should hold on to win 41-40. They will go to 5-0. Let's go back to the desert. Billy Mack, John Lindsay.
All right, guys. Boy, I'll tell you what, if UCLA does hold on, Southern California is going to be buzzing with college football fever.
How about the job that Carl Burrell has done with that team?
Well, we'll see. There's about a minute to play there. Let's get back to the business at hand here. Burgess for the Devils will bring it up the middle. Out to the 30-yard line. And again, Sam Keller will bring it up. And let's talk a little bit about Sam Keller, the quarterback, taking over for Andrew Walter. Of course, the all-time touchdown maker in Pac-10 history. Keller's one of those guys who was just bred, born to be a quarterback.
Yeah, his dad was in the Dallas Cowboy organization, both as coach and also on the administrative side. So he's grown up watching tapes, watching the Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman. So he is well-versed on what it takes to be a good quarterback.
Inside handoff. Aaron's going to go nowhere, yeah. Keller's father went to Michigan, then played in the NFL, was a defensive end. And Keller originally and initially was going to go to Michigan, then changed his mind and came down to the desert.
Yeah, at the last minute, he has a great relationship with Dirk Cutter, the head coach for Arizona State. He loves being here. He loves the wide-open attack. And this offense is geared for the quarterback. I mean, it's a pro-style offense. It's down the field. It's vertical. Gives the quarterback a chance to make big plays, and he's taking advantage of it as he leads the nation in passing.
Yeah, he's got a guru by the name of Roger Feeder, who really handpicked him when he was in high school, kind of the Pete Newell of football, if you will. Burgess, that's a long throw, caught. Good defense by Finney. Let's get to some Aflac trivia. And it concerns Derek Hagan, the 6'2 senior. He's 5th all-time in Pac-10 receiving yards. Who is number 1? And he could easily move up that chart tonight. And there's a reason why he wears number 80. That's his hero, Jerry Rice.
Derek Hagan just under 700 yards from becoming the number 1 receiver in the Pac-10 in terms of receiving yardage.
0 for 4 on 3rd down. Devils, boy, behind his intended receiver, but a good catch is made by Zach Miller. 1st down at midfield. Well, you know, since Todd Heap left, you know, I'm sure some folks down here said, boy, you know, we can't replace him. Boy, have they? They have Miller, they got Lewis, and they got another good kid coming in next year.
Well, Zach Miller was the number 1 tight end recruited out of high school a year ago when he came to Arizona State. He actually broke Todd Heap's freshman record for receptions in 1 year. Heap had 55, and last year, Zach Miller put up 56. He's been hampered with injuries so far this year, so Sam Keller very happy to have him back in the lineup.
Richardson in motion. They faked a quick handoff to him. Keller flushed out a bit, finds Richardson on the far sideline. And he's out of bounds at around the 45-yard line. Terry Richardson. I mentioned the other tight end coming into the program for Arizona State. His name is Dane Guthrie. He was a top 10 tight end coming out of high school. Actually played at Florida when Coach Zook left. You know, they brought in the spread offense. Urban Meyer, really no tight end needed there. So Guthrie's coming here. Well, they're going to have some 3 great tight ends next season.
Zach Miller Jamal Lewis has had an outstanding year as well, 14 receptions on the season.
Burgess in the backfield, going to get the little swing pass. Can't get around the defense. Brent Haberly. Well, he moved to the weak side, the outside, the will backer this week, and he made a fine play reading that out.
Great one-on-one play by Haberly. Able to get around the block for one of the Arizona State Sun Devils offensive linemen and able to make a good open field tackle on Burgess, which is very difficult to do.
7 minutes to play in the half and a third down. The first down line is being brought to you by Overstock.com. Visit Overstock.com today and start saving. It's all about the O. Burgess, you know, is a good receiver. Came in with 17. He could be a target here on third down. Keller instead goes over the middle, up to get it, caught. Hagan. Jackie Bates was there. He's also a De La Salle product, but Hagan went up the ladder to bring it down.
Now on third down, if there's one person you have to stop, it's Hagan. Keller going to him all the way, zone coverage. But as a linebacker, you have to make sure when you drop back in the zone, you look up where Hagan is at. You have to remember that he is the #1 target that Sam Keller wants to go to. So if you're a linebacker, you're dropping back in your zone, you have to recognize if Hagan comes inside, you have to turn your head, get it on a swivel, and make that play.
3 catches, 35 yards, and a score for Hagan. Here's Keegan Herring. Got a couple of extra yards. Stretches down to the 26-yard line on that first down effort.
Commitment to the run game. One thing that the local fans have been questioning is when is Arizona State's run game going to balance out the passing attack? And Dirk Cutter obviously making the commitment tonight to try to establish that run game. Giving Herring and Burgess a lot of touches, making sure they possess the ball as well as attempt to wear down the front for the Ducks.
Remember, Herring's that sprint champion, won it 3 years in a row, so you get him into the secondary in some open space, so look out. Second down run is going to be just short. The Sun Devil team trying to build upon their Sun Bowl victory last year, which was the coming out party for Sam Keller, who came in relief of Andrew Walter and threw for 300-plus yards and 3 touchdowns. And if they do get back to a bowl, and his team certainly is good enough to do that, it would be consecutive bowls for the first time since '97. But this will be a good kickstart for the rest of the year. They got a pretty favorable schedule, too. Rolling Keller, looking, stopping, fake, and then threw again behind the receiver, but Miller might have enough. Boy, that's good presence of mind to know where the stick was. As Miller stopped right on it and then reached back and grabbed it.
And a nice job working to work himself free. Zach Miller was in the flat on that last play and was well covered. Keller had no place to go with it. He bought himself some time. Right there, he buys some time. And watch Miller uncover, recognizing that the coverage is there. He uncovers, makes a nice one-handed catch. More importantly, it's across the first down mark.
By the way, I know the boys in the Game Day studio are going to break it down for you, but I know a lot of you were watching UCLA Cal, that thriller that the Bruins hung on and won 47-40. So we'll go back to the College Football Saturday studio when we can. Hit. Loss. Haberly in the backfield. That'll be a loss. Good play by Haberly. Boy, he just bolted right through.
Nick Aliotti had a run blitz on that time. Shot the gap with Haberly as he came inside of the tackle, was sitting right in the hole. Well-timed blitz by Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator for the Ducks.
Second down. Haberly, the junior from Oregon. Herring in the backfield. Look, you got 3 in the back. Keller steps up, throws far side. Oh, great throw, caught. That's a perfect throw. And Zach Miller, he's 100%, and you can tell he is back in a huge part of this game plan. We got a first down for ASU. Don't move the chains.
You see, a year ago, Zach Miller was the security blanket for Sam Keller. Anytime he needed to go and get a first down or a big play, if it wasn't Hagan because teams were starting to double him, he'd come back to Miller. We talked about the year that he had a year ago with 56 receptions. Andrew Walter was, of course, the starting quarterback, but when Keller got his opportunity to start the bowl game and some playing time during the year, his main target was Miller.
You can get a first down without a touchdown. Herring, what great penetration that time. Again, it's Haberly. He's all over the football field. Just having a nose for the ball here tonight. There they are. College football Saturday studio coming up at the half. Look at Billy Ray with the Heisman pose.
Now you got to watch it though. DeMarco Farr, the defensive lineman, any offensive type of moves, he's liable to hit you.
I'm giving props to Goldberg. He can hit you. I haven't yet seen what DeMarco's wearing, but I know that suit is sweet. Burgess in the backfield. Second down. Backpedaling Keller. Looking. End zone over the head of Miller. Of course, his brother Brent is also a tight end. He wears number 87. When Sam Keller first got to school, he was 5th on the depth chart. By the second week, he was 2nd on the depth chart. He just was not swimming in this Dirk Cutter offense. He picked it up so quickly.
They knew he would be special even when Andrew Walter was here. The limited playing time that Keller was able to gain and limited experience just helped that much more. He's picked up this offense as quick as any quarterback that Dirk Cutter has ever coached.
Burgess backfield, 3rd down. Over the middle, picked off. Blair Phillips, the middle linebacker, all perfect position, and the threat thwarted. That's good play. Blair Phillips back in coverage. And the Devils come up empty.
Now look at Phillips, he's in the middle of your screen right there. Now watch how he reads. The quarterback's eyes, gets up. Another nice one-handed catch by Phillips and able to take it back. As a middle linebacker, you're dropping back into your zone. The only key you have is the quarterback's eyes. That time Keller stuck right down the middle. He jumped into the passing lane. A big interception in the red zone.
Boy, ASU's not even ready on defense. Oregon came out and was all set, but they took a while to snap the football. Clemens will throw it, got a man wide open and just missed his target. And that was Demetrius Williams. And Kellen says, we'll go back and we'll get it again. Mike Bellotti notched his 50th conference win last weekend. He has 84 all-time at Oregon, 2nd behind Rich Brooks. He passed the legendary Len Casanova earlier this year.
Until last year, he had 10 seasons in a row without a losing season. That, of course, was broken last year when the Ducks went 5-6. But that was a great string, the longest in the school's history.
Fake to Whitehead. Clemens will keep. Well, I'll tell you what, Kellen very intrigued with this offense. Bellotti's only lament that he didn't go to this offense a couple of years ago.
Well, the one thing when you do run the option with the quarterback, what it does is force the defense to stay balanced. And any time that Kellen Clemens recognizes an imbalance in the defensive front, he'll run the option to the weak side, and that's why he's having so much success.
The bell tolls here at Sun Devil Stadium, which means it's a 3rd down upcoming. That aggressive Sun Devil defense digging in on 3rd down. 2:20 to play, first half. Close to a first down, I believe. Whitehead, well, he danced. Look at where the spot is. The spot is right on the stick.
Not a favorable spot for the Ducks.
But it is a first down. They barely got it. It appeared as though from up here, and I mean way up here, that Whitehead had danced about a half a yard further, but he did get the first down. Here it is again.
Well, you see Whitehead, he knows the first down sticks are right there. He's clearly in his vision. As a running back, you have to make sure, if you have to lower your shoulder to make sure you get across that first down marker. That would have been a huge mistake, but he did get the first down.
Ducks have a couple of timeouts left, and they've got bad throw. And a late flag. Josh Golden stepped in and had a great shot at it. Golden's one of those guys, undersized, but he plays big. Watch him reading the quarterback perfectly.
Did an excellent job of reading the quarterback's drop as well as his eyes. As a cornerback, you're going to read the quarterback's drop. That's the first thing if you're in a zone defense. You drop back, you're looking inside. You check the quarterback's drop. If it is a 3-step drop, as a defender, you don't go back. You don't get back in your back pedal. You sit and try to react. That's exactly what Golden did on that last play.
Ball got catch. There is no foul on the play.
They'll pick the flag up. Receiver was unable to catch it. Uncatchable was the call, and just a good defensive play. This defense for Arizona State, as Bellotti gets the explanation, they're still in their base 4-3. Remember, Brent Guy was the D coordinator last year. He's moved on to be the head coach at Utah State now with Bill Miller, who's truly an old school guy. They just got a little more different variations on the defense. Clemens in trouble. That's just good aggressive defense by the Devils. Intended for Strong in the flat. And a third down upcoming again. 3rd and 10.
When you go against this triple threat option, you have really a choice as a defensive coordinator to either sit back in coverage or to try to pressure the quarterback. Right now, Arizona State choosing to run a variety of blitzes. Inside stunts with the linebackers, trying to put that pressure on Clemens and get him to deliver the ball quickly.
So Miller deciding to be aggressive. Conventional wisdom would say, all right, you got to play a little more basic against this threat of an offense. Clemens, flushed, incomplete. Stretching Williams, unable to get that one along the sideline. 4th down, still over 2 minutes to play, and ASU stands to get it in pretty good field position.
Yeah, that was a product of the pressure that defensive coordinator Miller was putting on Kellen Clemens. That time Clemens, with a sense of urgency, flushed himself out of the pocket. Good protection by the offensive line. He had time to throw and could have stayed in the pocket, but recognizing that some pressure has been on him, felt that the clock was running out, scrambled out, and that did not make a good throw.
Terry Richardson, who had 218 return yards against SC, including that long punt return for a touchdown, is waiting. Aaron Knowles, the second putter, utilized by the Ducks this year, boots it away, and Richardson, sideline to the 46-yard line. College Football Saturday on FSN is being presented by Kyocera. Now there's a whole new reason to smile. People-friendly printers and copiers only from Kyocera. And brought to you in part by Chevy, an American revolution. By Mortal Kombat, Shaolin monks, out of the arena and into the adventure. And the First Down Line is being brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% every day. It's all about the O. 47-yard punt. 2 minutes remaining in the half. Arizona jumped out 10-0. Oregon has battled back, I should say, Arizona State. Let's not get the Devil fans mad at us, of course. Here's Sam Keller. I know what they think about that throw. Did he get there too soon? He did not. Good defensive play by Jackie Bates, who's starting at corner instead of Aaron Gibson, the intended receiver, Derek Hagan. And that brings us to our trivia question. Derek Hagan is now 4th. He's moved up a slot since the game began. Who is number 1, John Jackson? Do you know?
Oh, of course, it's Troy Walters, a Stanford receiver. Remember Troy, he's an exciting player, both as a receiver and a kick returner, and those were exciting Stanford teams that he played for. A wide open attack, similar to the one that Arizona State runs.
ASU on 2nd down. Inside Richardson, boy, finally utilizing him a bit. He's down quickly, though, at the 45-yard line, about a yard short of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1. And the Devils coming up to the line quickly. They are 3 and 8 on 3rd downs. But they will take a timeout here.
Arizona State.
And Cutter
Number 2 of the
and
half.
Keller will put their minds together. Here's Coach Cutter. Well, ASU, a play here, a play there, and well, they could dream a little bit, and they could have been 5-0 coming in. Let's take you back to LSU early in the year, the game that was moved from Baton Rouge.
Well, that was week 2, and you can see LSU was able to throw this Hail Mary type of pass into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. You can see the victory 35-31 over Arizona State. And then just a week ago, it started with this drop. Derek Hagan just off of his fingertips. The Trojans led by 3, and the Arizona State was trying to make a run at that point. And then after that, the Trojans got the ball, and Lindell White ran right through the Arizona State defense to put the Trojans up by 10. As you mentioned, they had a 21-3 lead at half. You see what the deficits that the opposition had to overcome. That Arizona State led 17-7 after 3 quarters and lost by 4. And that halftime lead of 21-3 against the Trojans That is really inexcusable. That's really the thing is Dirk Cutter, that's a thorn in his side because he felt that he had the Trojans on the rope that
Yeah, and he felt inconsistency on offense. They played 2 good quarters and 2 poor quarters, he thought. But that's USC's MO, isn't it? I mean, against Oregon played a good first half. They were ahead. SC outscored them 32-3 in the second half, won 45-13. Arizona State up first half, outscored 35-7 in the second half.
That has been what Pete Carroll has brought to the Trojans. They are a second half team. Throughout his career, they score over 1,000 points to their opponent's 400. So they are phenomenal in the second half, and they proved it again last week.
That play right there, JJ, with Burgess just took way too long to develop on a 3rd and 1. You can't dance and prance in the backfield and expect to get that first down.
Little counter action in the backfield gave Oregon enough time to slip some blocks and penetrate into the backfield.
And Nada, who's a great run stuffer, one of the supreme space eaters in the Pac-10, made the play. 4th down.
4th and 1.
And they're killing a little clock here too. They don't want to give Oregon much to work with.
Well, they're going to have to punt in this situation. That's the smart thing for Dirk Cutter. So he'll probably take the 5-yard penalty. Won't hurt him. There it is.
Yeah, they're going to punt.
And they'll bring
good field position.
Play of game. Offense.
I'll tell you, there's some boo birds out, and I'll tell you why also. There was a little bit of criticism, of course. ASU, end of the half, last week against USC. They had the Trojans on the ropes. They had that defense sucking gas. Yet, Coach Cutter and ASU decided not to go for more points at the end of the half, and they endured a little criticism.
Well, in this case, I agree with them. You have to let the clock run out and punt. But a week ago, you're exactly right. It was hot. They had the Trojans on the ropes. Their offense was playing phenomenal in the first half. I thought he should have rolled the dice and tried to put some more points on the board, take advantage of the Trojans while they were down.
Here, though, they feel as though, obviously, they've got an advantage perhaps over Oregon. Pretty good return by Finney. Chris McDonald, the punter. Tomorrow, it's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader, beginning with the unbeaten Bucs. How about that? John Gruden invading New York to take on the Jets. Then, Owens and the Eagles renew their rivalry with Drew Bledsoe and the Cowboys as both teams try to keep pace in the tight end NFC East. Oh, we got other regional action. We'll also get tomorrow, America's #1 pregame show, noonies, 9 Pacific on Big Fox.
What a difference a running back makes for the Bucs. Cadillac Williams has sparked them so far this year.
Think about that. Auburn, 2 great backs last year, both drafted first round. Terrence Whitehead is the back. See what Oregon can do with 37 seconds. Whether they'll put it in the air, they'll run option. By the way, that touchdown to Whitehead earlier was ruled a forward pass. So it's a touchdown pass from Clemens to Whitehead for their touchdown earlier in the game. For those of you scoring at home.
7, 2nd and 3 from the 39.
So you can add another touchdown pass to Clemens total. He's now got 13 on the year. Kellen Clemens, 6th in the nation in total offense, and now has thrown a touchdown in each of his last 10 games. So his streak continues.
Remember the Oregon receiving core. All the receivers go 6'2" and taller. Let's see if he throws it down the field.
A little one-on-one and incomplete. Boy, they got Colvin one-on-one along the sideline, try to dump it into him. It'll be 3rd down. 27 seconds remaining in the half.
Take a look at the one-on-one coverage with Mike Davis. Now Colvin is 6'2". Davis also tall. You can see Davis, that's a defensive back technique. You see how he sort of grabbed the inside arm subtly? That's what the defensive backs get away with all the time. It drives us ex-receivers crazy.
A lot of things drive you ex-receivers crazy.
It's always pass interference.
Yeah. 3rd down. Clemens got a man. Rosario, 47-yard line. You know, coming into the game, Rosario had 10 catches. 7 of the 10 were for first downs. He got another one right there. That's what Dante Rosario
does. Timeout
Oregon.
They're first at the half.
He's your go-to guy when you need to move the chains.
And he's a great option, especially in short yardage.
On the 47.
You expect that with all the receivers that Oregon has, you have to pay a lot of attention to Williams, Colvin, even James Finley. You know, your Tim Days, your Dante Rosarios, those are the guys that are going to guarantee to have one-on-one coverage Good job by Clemens taking advantage of that.
Rosario, one of those guys that you talk about touches, just getting the more touches because he's a nice athletic body that you can get the ball to, and that's what Mike Bellotti wants to try to do. So 22 seconds remaining here in the first half of U.S. Marines Pac-10 standings. Bruins rolling, Trojans rolling, Bears going down. More from the fellas at half on that one. And then Oregon and Arizona State. And both these teams, well, the jury is out, I think, on Oregon, how good they really are. This would be a great statement game for them. And Arizona State figures, hey, we played with LSU, we played with USC, we're pretty good. They got to show it here tonight.
Well, no question, at the end of the season, both of these teams will look back at this game as either very good or very bad. It's going to turn the momentum for either team that wins for their season going forward. If Arizona State loses, I mean, this is a good team that all of a sudden becomes average at 3-3 if they don't win tonight.
Yeah, and Oregon, if they can win tonight, they are at home next week against a weak Washington team that has struggled, of course. It's a bye week for the Devils before they get a game at Stanford on the 22nd.
And remember, Arizona State's schedule, although it is difficult at the beginning, a lot of games at home. They have to make sure they defend their home turf.
First down. Inside Sun Devil territory, and they still have 17 seconds remaining.
This throw is what makes Kellen Clemens so special. Able to drop back, recognize the blitz in his face, really throw off of his back foot and deliver a strike.
They're going deep on the depth chart with Paysinger making that catch, but it just shows you the depth of this Oregon receiver.
And of course the Civil War on November 19th.
I think we're going to be able to be there too, John Jackson. Looking forward to that. We think perhaps it's on in our future. A lot of great games that day.
That Civil War is about as exciting as it gets.
Fun time. We were there last year though, and Oregon State manhandled Oregon.
Well, Oregon State and Oregon, except for USC and UCLA, they're the closest schools in proximity to each other in the Pac-10, so it makes for a great rivalry between the two.
Evanson looks like about a 51-yarder. That's where it will be set down. This will be the final play of the half.
What wind there is in the stadium, he'll be kicking into.
Timeout, Arizona State.
Arizona State doing
their
a
third time out of the half.
halftime freeze. You can see that at the end of the game.
Is it possible to freeze them in Arizona with
this kind of weather? Yeah, impossible. Let's take a look at what ASU has upcoming. You know, you look at the games, although a couple on the road, relatively, well, you thought Stanford was a walkover, then Stanford went up and won a game. How about that? Washington struggling, Ty Willingham. Then in the Palouse, and that big game looming. If UCLA can keep running the table, that will be at the Rose Bowl. Bruins, of course, will move up from that 16 ranking. They could move up considerably. Very close, I think, to the top 10 after this week.
And don't forget about Arizona. This is always a big matchup for Arizona State and Arizona when they square off. But you're right, the meat of their schedule was at the beginning of the season, and with as many home games as they had, that's what Dirk Cutter was looking forward to. If it wasn't for a couple plays, he could be 5-0 at this point and in the national championship picture.
You know, and next week the next game is against Stanford in a couple of weeks. And Oregon beat Stanford last week 44-20. And they figured, and no disrespect to Stanford, but they told us they thought they could have scored 60 or 70. They had a couple of touchdowns scored back, one missed opportunity on a short field. Evanson from 51 to end the half. And a possible lead. Is it going to creep over? Yes, it does! Well, those are bonus points. End of the half, after holding ASU at midfield and forcing the punt, they get 3.
It's set up with that 4th and 1 conversion by Whitehead, and how about the leg? Good from 51. It would have made it from 56, 57. And that was into a slight win, and you can see the celebration.
And remember, he's kicking because Martinez isn't healthy. And 13 straight points. And Lindsey
Thanks, guys. So, Coach, big field goal to grab the momentum going into half. Aside from the early turnovers, I'd imagine you're pretty happy.
I'm happy because we've played really well on offense and really well on defense. It probably shouldn't be quite as close a game, but we made some mistakes, hurt ourselves, got the turnovers. I probably shouldn't have tried a 55-yard field to start with, but I wanted to give the young man confidence kicking in his first game, and maybe it helped with this at that 40-whatever yarder it was.
Yeah, so send him out there for a 55-yarder. That's a good way to build some confidence. Terrence Whitehead, this is what he looks like when he's healthy, a big difference.
Amazing difference. Yeah, he's been hobbled the last 2 weeks, and it's nice to get him on track. He's playing very, very well, and again, he's a great receiver, and in this offense, he can be a multi-purpose guy out of the backfield.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck in the second half. Billy, back to you.
And very confident, Coach Bellotti. All right, I've been teasing him up. Now let's take you to the studio for the College Football Saturday Halftime Report. Mike Goldberg, DeMarco Farr, B-Ray Smith.
Entertaining first half, to say the least. 51-yard field goal to give Oregon the 13-10 lead. Welcome to the College Football Saturday Halftime Report. As advertised, the Hall of Famer Billy Ray Smith, the National and Super Bowl champion DeMarco Farr. I'm Mike Goldberg, and our game is really one that is close like we thought it would be, DeMarco, but we thought it would be close, maybe 27-24, not 13-10 after the first half.
Yeah, I thought it would be a shootout, and when I called my friends at Oregon to find out, hey, what about this game? What about Rudy Burgess? What about Derek Hagan? How are you going to stop this guy? The name that kept coming up, Haliata, nada. He's going to push the pocket and
stats, you have to point right to the rushing yards for Oregon and the lack of rushing yards for Arizona State. You can see Oregon has 97 yards on the ground as opposed to Arizona State's 30 yards on the ground. That leaves a 277 total yards for Oregon. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, Billy Mack. That is really the difference in this game, is how well they have been able to control the line of scrimmage and the game.
Second half, Arizona State will kick it off to the Ducks of Oregon. Oregon's lone loss, of course, to the Trojans of USC at home at Autzen Stadium. ASU has lost a couple of times, both two top 5 teams, LSU and SC, as Ainsworth, per usual, drives it in the end zone unreturnable, and it'll come out to the 20-yard line. So the shootout has not turned out to be that. It's been a great defensive effort for both these teams here tonight. Arizona State unable to get a run game going, and that has been a bugaboo for a few of their games, and they knew they would have to establish it. Galliotti likes to put guys in the box, and ASU, when they get their hands on the football, we'll see if they can change their plan a little bit. Right now, Kellen Clemens and Oregon step on the field, 1st and 10. Clemens, great fake, and here he goes to the 40, 45, out to midfield. Boy, everybody bit on Whitehead, and Clemens just took off and galloped out to midfield. Davis finally racked him up.
Well, you can imagine in Arizona State's locker room, the speech was, we have to stop the running game with Whitehead and the rest of the running backs for the Ducks. In the first play, they come out, use Whitehead as a decoy. Clemens goes on a naked boot by himself for a huge run, and that's where this triple option attack is so dangerous. You can fake it to the running back, get the defense to flow, and let the quarterback hurt you with his legs.
Clemens, second leading rusher on this team, and driving Whitehead. I can't even tell you, if you haven't seen Oregon, what a different runner he is now that he is healthy. Downstairs to Lindsay Soto.
You know, Billy, Dirk Cutter's club has never trailed at the half this year. When reminded of that at halftime, he said, maybe that's a good thing. We've given away 2 this season where we have led at the break, so maybe this change of pace will be a good thing. He also reminded me they were a good second half come from behind team last year. Said he told the guys at halftime, you have to come out full speed in this second half. You cannot stay back on your heels. He thinks they got up 10-0 and thought that this was going to be easier than it was. Obviously, it's not the case, so he gave them a good talking to at halftime, and hopefully they'll come out with a little bit more fire in the second half.
Good stuff, Lindsay. Cat knees, the stop on Whitehead, so they're just attacking the gut of that defensive line.
Well, the offensive line for Oregon is extremely big. We've talked about it. That 4 out of the 5 guys are over 300 pounds, so if they can get some push up front and start working downhill with some zone blocking plays, there's a lot of success to be had against a smaller but quicker ASU defense.
All starts with Lucas, the center, pitch it, and that time, great play. Maurice London was right there on the edge. Here are your first half possessions. Didn't start well, did it, for the Ducks?
Blocked field goal, interception, fumble, and that's when Arizona State was rolling. The momentum clearly on their side, but the Ducks able to regroup, put together a field goal, touchdown. Now they had 6 plays and a punt, but that last field goal was really a big momentum swing going into the locker room. They had to be very upbeat and very promising and confident on what they were able to achieve with that last score at the end of the half.
On second down and long, Clemens, who threw a pick earlier, he had only thrown one all year, has been very efficient, finds James Finley. Well, here's a guy they've waited 2 years for, signed out of high school, went to a JC, very emotional, big play type player, and they are thrilled to have him in the lineup.
One of the top receivers on the West Coast. You see Finley's going to be in the slot here. Now it's a receiver screen, but watch the blocking down the field. You see Dave, the tight end. They're able to get up on the receivers. That's Colvin blocking down the field. The receivers for Oregon do an outstanding job of blocking in space. You have to be able to block in this offense because it's a spread option attack. The receivers so important in that option game to block. They did a nice job on that quick screen.
That's an absolutely great point, and it goes underlooked so often. Power sweep this time to the near side on the pitch. Jeremiah Johnson trying to toe the line and will go out of bounds, marked at the 22-yard line.
Now the difference with the backs is Johnson is that speed back for the Oregon Ducks, able to get outside. They like to get him out on the edge to stretch the defense east and west. Difficult for the offensive linemen to get on their guys, though, because remember, this is a big offensive line. Not as mobile as most offensive lines you'll see around the country. Very big. They work better going downhill.
They've done their homework. Devils, second worst rushing defense in the Pac-10 coming in. Johnson again, the lone setback. Penalty right in the middle. You would suspect on ASU. You know, this Oregon team trying to get back to that elite status. They were there for so many years.
Dead ball, offside, defense number 1. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Jordan Hill, the junior tackle who jumped.
You know, a week ago, Matt Leinart had some success in drawing the defensive front of Arizona State offsides by fluctuations in the snap count. Kellen Clemens did that right there. Just a little hut-hut. Gets the defensive line opted to jump into the neutral zone.
Well, here is where the game was lost last year for Oregon against ASU in the red zone. They could not convert inside the 20 last season. Terrence Whitehead is in the backfield. They're 1 out of 2 in the red zone. A touchdown. Tonight, this is going nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. Great pursuit.
So you're playing into the strength of the Arizona State defense whenever you go sideline to sideline. It's a quick defense, and they're small. Now look, you see Kofi right here. He's going to be the defensive end on the side. They're going to run the option to his side and option off to him. But you see Clemens didn't put enough pressure downhill to force him to commit. He was able to play both Clemens and the pitch man. When you run the option as a quarterback, you have to force the defensive end to commit one way or another. Clemens did not do that. That's an outstanding play.
Now Clemens, 4 out of 9 on third down, has Jonathan Stewart behind him. He's a pretty good receiver, too. Could be an excellent target. They haven't looked for the tight ends much. Instead, they'll go inside to Stewart, nowhere. Dale Robinson and company. There he is. Dale has 8 tackles for loss, leads the conference coming in. Bam, right up the line.
Well,
Robinson.
Great at play recognition. That time they moved Robinson to the defensive end spot, thinking that Oregon was going to go to the pass. He was going to put some pressure on Clemens. Inside stunt. He stunned right into the play. Was in perfect position to make that play. That's the playmaker on defense in Robinson.
Now, by the way, because he was the second string kicker, didn't expect to see him. This is Matt Evenson, not Evanson. We'll admit it. We asked at the half. So for his family, all Oregon fans, Evenson has got it again. Eugene loves him. They're going to know his name. 16-10. Ducks.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you.
Some people are happier at work than others. They're using Kyocera printers and copiers. Kyocera, brilliant color, advanced technology that's simple to use, and a low cost of ownership. They're people-friendly. People-friendly printers and copiers. Only from Kyocera.
The whole world smiles with you.
Hey. Hey. Whew. Yeah. You look relaxed for somebody in your condition.
It's because I have Aflac. What do you mean? Oh, when I'm hurt and miss work, Aflac gives me cash to help pay bills my health insurance doesn't.
You mean like car payments?
Mm-hmm.
Electric bills?
Mm-hmm.
Or the rent?
Yep. Huh. Even food. Chinese is here.
Great. I love duck.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
This guy just went to 5 bowl games in 1 week. Of course, he forgot his sunscreen for the first 2. He lost his voice by the 4th game. And the worst part of all is his girlfriend dumped him when he got back because he didn't tell her he was going in the first place. So tell me, was it worth it? Oh, yeah.
Enter to win Cooper Tire's Ultimate Bowl Tour, and you and 3 friends could be headed to 5 bowl games in 1 week on a private jet. Go to a Cooper dealer near you or visit ultimatebowltour.com to enter.
Who knows? This could be you.
College Football Saturday on FSN is presented by Kyocera. Now there's a whole new reason to smile. People-friendly printers and copiers only from Kyocera. And brought to you in part by Aflac. Ask about it at work. By Fellows, the world's toughest shredders. And the First Down Line is being brought to you by Overstock.com. Visit Overstock.com today and start saving. It's all about the O. 11:48 remaining. We're in the third quarter, live tonight from Tempe, Arizona. Oregon, Arizona State, 2 would-be elite teams in the Pac-10. Trying to see who's boss. Terry Richardson near the goal line. Now looking to cut it inside. Does not get back to the 20. Tomorrow, Fox NFL Sunday, we'll take a closer look at Eagles QB Donovan McNabb as he plays through pain to help his team stay in contention. Michael Strahan, star of the Giants, will be in studio to discuss New York Strong Start Plus. Brian Urlacher goes 10 yards of TB. NFL Sunday on Fox begins tomorrow at noon in the East, 9 Pacific.
Well, let's check the adjustments that Dirk Cutter made at halftime. See if he remains patient with the run game. Not a lot of success.
He will start with it. Herring found a hole over the left guard. Gets out to the 25, gain of about 5, set up a second down. Here are the ASU possessions, exact opposite of Oregon. Started well, finished poorly.
Yeah, they did. They had that punt, of course, and then the touchdown field goal. So to this point, they were doing extremely fine. But then, as you see, 4 plays in the punt, 3 and out. They had 14 plays and 2 an interception. That was really the killer in the first half for them to drive the length of the field and then killer throw the interception. But other than that, they got off to that fast start, but they have not been in sync since.
Herring is a setback again. Sam Keller is the quarterback. Play action, look out. He is in deep trouble, gets away, throws, incomplete. Boy, just happy to get it away. Devin Long, haven't called his name much, but he's their real natural pass rusher. He's got 21.5 career sacks and a huge key, and he was in the backfield quickly.
And he was really one of the big differences in the game against USC. Not having him at 100% yet really hurt because you didn't have a pass rush that could put consistent pressure on Matt Leinart. Thrown in the area of the receiver. Almost intentional grounding. Keller did a nice job of escaping and saving himself from a sack, because that would have been a huge loss.
Did intentionally ground it. We know it. You know it. Everyone knows it. But you don't get called for it. Of course, had a receiver inside.
Just got to throw it in the air.
Yeah, you do. Randy Hill is behind. Keller 3 for 9 on third down. Make it 4 for 10. Did the ground cause the fumble? No, they're going to call an incomplete pass. Jamal Lewis. What do you think, JJ? Make the call.
Well, Lewis, it appears, bobbling it the whole way. Well, if anything, it would have been a fumble. But you can see the referee. Now, that's happening in slow motion. It's still tough to tell if he had possession. But you know the referee saw the bobble at the beginning. And then, of course, when he went down, he did not have possession when he hit the ground. I think that's a good call of incomplete.
McDonald punts it away to Finney. Finney driven back, great kick. Whoa, loose football, live football. And Oregon's got it at the 32. Another boomer, 54-yard kick. And the Ducks unfortunate. They'll have the first down, and we come back to Tempe, Arizona.
At Car Fiend Car Rental, we want returning your car and making your flight to feel speedy. That's why we offer complimentary coffee while you wait.
You call this speedy? I'm standing in line here. It doesn't feel all that speedy. And I'm just saying it doesn't.
Okay, two words, buddy. Decaf. The orange pot.
It's just not speedy. That's all I'm saying.
Who do you think we are? Hertz?
Because he said it's speedy. You walked in and said, oh, you know, it's speedy.
Hertz offers instant return, so you can return your car fast, get home fast. It's your trip. Rent wisely.
The Honorable Master Johnny is still slashing prices at Bullwinkle's Autos. All the prices at Bullwinkle's Autos are being cut. All of them. Cars, trucks, or whatever vehicle you need for work or family. Those high interest rates? Slash!
Come see me, Johnny, at Bullwinkle's Autos.
It's coming. Monster Fest starts October 24th only on AMC. 8 horrifying days and nights featuring a countdown of the 20 scariest movies ever. Use your cable high-speed internet connection and go to amctv.com for everything Monster Fest, all at the speed of fright. Monster Fest October 24th through the 31st only on AMC.
Fascinations has the costume you're looking for. Get a $20 Fascinations gift card with any $100 purchase while supplies last.
Best damn sports show period. Weeknights on FSN.
Some love to the Oregon defense since Arizona State scored a touchdown. On the next 6 possessions, a total of only 68 yards for the high-powered, and I mean high-powered, Sun Devil offense. Maybe the best that Dirk Cutter has had in his time here in Tempe. Terrence Whitehead, who's having a big game, is back behind Clemens in the backfield, and he will get the call. Whitehead again, just right up the middle. They have been shredding the middle of that Arizona defense. He's got another one. Dale Robinson went for a ride. Whitehead, another great gain on first down of about 8 or 9.
And that's why they're going to have success up the middle. Turgey, Lucas, Masoon, 300, 296, 340. In between the tackles is where success will come for this Oregon team with the run game.
Whitehead again in the backfield. Flip it out to the far side, a first down to Weatherspoon. You know, Oregon, they put up a lot of points, 35 points per. You figure they're going down the field a lot. You could have counted on one hand how many times they went down the field last year. They were relatively conservative in that regard. This offense is going to shoot it down there a little bit more, but really not today. This is more of a ball control situation with this multi-threat offense.
Yeah, in between the 20s, they've been very effective throughout the entire season. They've been able to move the ball. If there's any knock on this offense, is that when they've driven down the field and got in scoring position, they've had to settle for field goals. That's why Martinez leads the nation with 11 field goals so far this season.
Clemens looked to the flat, then threw up the field a bit. Is it a catch? I believe it is for Demetrius Williams. Boy, that is a good catch. Well, he was hurt most of last year. He has already exceeded last year's total in yards. And we're only halfway through the season. Keno Walter White made the stop.
A huge target, but look at Williams on that catch. As a receiver, you know the defensive back is keying on you. So the key is to get your hands up late so the defensive back doesn't have time to react. That's exactly what Williams did on that last reception. He waited to the last minute, brought his hands up, caught the ball, got in bounds. That's the mark of a veteran receiver.
Sun Devils got to get to the quarterback, too. They've had, oh, look at this. It's going to be a trick play, throwing back to Clemens. Almost intercepted. It was throwing back into double coverage, too.
You see Terrence Whitehead just sort of tap himself on the chest. My bad, he almost threw an interception. But I can tell you, being a position player, anytime you get a chance to throw the ball, you want to show off. So you're going to throw this no matter what. You can see good coverage on Kellen Clemens. He had Jordan chasing him, the defensive tackle, but then also the safety was behind him. And Whitehead, that's why he's a running back and not a quarterback.
Again, I mentioned again, 10 sacks last 2 weeks for the Sun Devils. Let's see if they pin back a little bit and get after Clemens on second down. He gives it inside to try to neutralize. Whitehead down to the 30-yard line. Maurice Lennon makes the stop. Down to the sidelines, and Lindsay.
Billy, ASU's defense playing without starting defensive end Kyle Caldwell. He is out of the game, will not return. He is on the sideline with a sling on his arm. ASU does not release specific injury information, so I can't tell you more than that. Rudy Burgess also came off limping after that last offensive series. Appeared to be in a lot of pain whenever they bent his left knee. He got on a bike, they are stretching him out on the sideline. We'll see if it is serious. We're going to have to wait.
Well, as far as Caldwell is concerned, Lindsay, he really gives you a nice rush off that defensive end. Stewart is in the backfield on third down. They got to get down to about the 26 and a half. Going for a good chunk towards the end zone now is Clemens, and it's incomplete. It'll set up a fourth down, and could we see Evenson again with a long attempt? Demetrius Williams again, the intended receiver.
They see one-on-one coverage by Golden, just reading him. Clemens throws it intentionally behind Williams. But Williams knows he has a huge height advantage, and that's what he's saying. Throw the ball up, throw it up, and give me a chance.
His toe and ankle problems really caused Williams to have that so-so year last season. Still caught 47 balls. There's Evenson again, going to be a 47-yarder. He's been a difference maker tonight, filling in for Martinez. Is he kicking with confidence? Pushed it. So a miss from distance. And it remains a 6-point Sun Devil deficit. Third quarter in Arizona.
Oh man, a paper jam. Paper jam. Get Pam, get Pam.
I am.
We always get slammed with these paper jams. Give it a good wham.
I couldn't find Pam, so I got Graham.
Why are we rhyming?
Guys, the presentation will be fine. We've got an easy button.
When it comes to making copies, every business has an easy button. It's called Staples. Our copy and print center can handle any job, big or small, when you need it done right.
Here's a diagram, ma'am.
Staples. That was easy. Come in and get color copies for just 39 cents now through November 12th.
Weeknights on the best damn sports show, period. Together in studio, two of the all-time greats, Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Weeknights at 10:30.
Zip, 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 gotta fill her up fast. Fill my tank to the brim with performance gas. Heading down to the Diamond Shamrock, drive in, zip out. Fill it up, baby, and be on your way now. Don't drive yourself crazy, head for the Diamond Shamrock, drive in, zip out.
Last season, fans voted every week for the Pontiac game-changing performance to help NCAA schools earn almost $200,000 in scholarship contributions. This season, we're now asking you to help pick the nominees. When you're watching games, if you see a Pontiac game-changing performance, nominate it at Pontiac.com/NCAA. The NCAA school you help may just be your own. Pontiac, official performance machines of the NCAA.
Some long faces on a normally raucous group of Sun Devil supporters. The total offense, fourth in the nation tonight, only 153 yards. On top of that, Oregon has 366 total yards by a wide margin. They're outplaying ASU on the offensive end. Keller gets hit, knocked down, incomplete. Intended for Matt Miller, the senior.
Billy Mack on that last field goal. I mean, of course, everybody's going to notice that Evenson missed the field goal, but that was really set up on third down. On third down and short, the way that the offensive line for Oregon has been playing, I think you have to run that ball twice.
You figured fourth down territory for them.
No question about it. It's four downs. You have to go with back-to-back run plays. You see Keller slow getting up. Now, he took a lot of licks last week. The coaches were really wondering if he's 100% this week. They don't think he's probably about 75%.
He is not. He's got an ankle and a shoulder. He is playing hurt, Sam Keller. But, you know, the big pocket guys, one of the strongest, if not the strongest arm in the conference. And ASU tries it up the middle, doesn't get any yards, and it'll set up a third down and long. They're just 3 for 10. Thank you, Nate Policar, a great stats guy alongside. 3 out of 10 on third down.
See the rushing yards, only 34 yards to this point for Arizona State. That's been the reason this offense has been slowed.
4 wides and then Burgess for Keller. He is flushed out a bit, throws down the middle, flag down, incomplete. They have taken away the deep ball. That was for Lewis. one of the talented tight ends, but we're going to have to check the flag. It was thrown near the defensive backfield. There's another flag. There's two flags, actually. One in the backfield and then one in the defensive backfield. So this could be offsetting. I smell an offset here.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Holding offense number 70. Holding defense. The penalty's offset. Replay 3rd down.
Whole lot of holding.
Yeah, let's do it again.
And that was in the secondary with the coverage down the field, holding one of the receivers. Saw the infraction against the offensive lineman. That's why Keller had so much time to throw. Remember, this offensive line, of the 5 starters, 2 of the starters are out for Arizona State, so they're working with a couple backups. They've done a good job protecting him to this point. Not a lot of sacks, but he has been taking a lot of hits.
Yeah, and we'll makeshift line for the Devils. Keller, no, that's not going to get there. Not even going to be close. And they're paying a lot of attention, and rightfully so, to Derek Hagan. And this does not look like the in-sync Arizona State offense that has graced the field all year long.
Well, this is the danger when you have an offense that is not clicking on all cylinders. As a quarterback, you tend to want to go to your go-to guy to sort of get you out of trouble. But of course, defensively, Nick Galeotti, his game plan has been flawless to this point in terms of
blocked. Kick is blocked, and it's loose inside the 5. McDonald's kick was blocked, and it's going to be recovered at the 2-yard line. Dutch special teams rise to the occasion.
Recovered by Reed at the 7-yard.
McDonald, his second kick this year that has been blocked.
And the pressure is going to
Reed was there.
It's going to come right down the middle. The freshman from Mission Viejo, Nick Reed, did a nice job coming down the middle. Look at him. He doesn't quit. Escapes the up man with a nice swim move and makes that big block. Nick Reed on that Mission Viejo team in high school that was one of the best in the country. He was obviously one of the best defensive ends in the country on that team. Comes up with a huge special teams play.
JJ and I operate out of Southern California. Mission Viejo is in South Orange County and one of the top high school programs in the country, if not the best right now. Nick, a defensive end, pure freshman, his inside handoff to Terrence Whitehead, a true freshman. He's in for a touchdown. Late signal from the linesman far side, but touchdown Oregon. So they turn the block kick into 6, and this game is getting away from the Sun Devils.
Good surge up front, big offensive line, and Whitehead, nice job, nifty running by the senior, able to weave his way into the end zone. Special teams, that's been a key for Arizona State going into this game. It hurts them this last series.
Well, it hurt them against LSU. They're going to go for 2 with the score 22-10. They're going to try to get it to 14 on the spread. Remember, LSU returned 2 kicks.
Arizona State.
And 2 miscues for touchdowns in that game earlier in the year, and that really was the difference.
And Mike Bellotti is going to go for 2 in this situation. Well, let's take a look at the touchdown again by Whitehead. You can see the surge by that offensive line. See how they're moving the line of scrimmage back into the secondary of Arizona State. A lot of holes. You have a veteran back like Whitehead. He's able to set it up, weave his way through, and has a nose for the end zone.
And just across the plane, Terrence Whitehead really been phenomenal tonight. Lindsay Soto with a special guest. Lindsay?
Guys, Andrew Walters went 3-0 against Oregon in his career here at ASU. Your thoughts on tonight's game so far?
Well, you know, we just got to get back to a rhythm. That's the biggest thing. You know, we were clicking in the first quarter, and, you know, we will. It's just a matter of time and just get a drive going, you know, help the defense out a little bit. But it's nice to be back, though. I know that.
Now, with the Raiders, tell me about what your time's been like there so far.
Oh, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. You know, it's definitely different, but, you know, college is college, you know, and has its own special parts, too. So I think we're about getting ready to go here.
Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Thank you, Lindsay. Andrew Walter. He knew how to throw touchdowns, didn't he? JJ, you don't agree with this, and we'll talk about it after this, but they're going for 2. You figure they should kick for 1. Clemens
football to be played.
Checking at the line. Option play. Inside shuttle pass. They've got it. So for 2, James Finley has the deuce.
24-10. As long as you're alive, why not reach for a beer that lets you drink it all in? Beck's Premier Light. Real German beer with only 64 calories. Life beckons, and you're holding the key.
Saber 1-5, this is Bobcat 3-6 from weapons enemy camp. Coordinates for impact as follows. Grid, Echo, Hotel, over. Overwatch. This is Code 2 in position. Over.
We are glad you are with us coast to coast on FSN. It's our Kyocera College Football Saturday. I'm Bill McDonald along with John Jackson and Lindsay Soto. Well, they were calling it a bounce back weekend for Arizona State. So far, it's a letdown and a meltdown for the Sun Devils as the Ducks have dominated them. Richardson, 30-yard line. Here's the 2-point conversion. Now tell me why you don't go for 2 to get it to point just too early in the game.
And I'm always a believer that, you know, you're scoring a lot of points. You're going to have more opportunities to score. I don't risk the points here. Now, it works. So the 2-point conversion opens up to a 14-point lead. But if you don't make it, you put Arizona State right back in good position. There's plenty more opportunities throughout this game if you're Oregon to figure to go for 2 points if you need it. I just don't agree with taking the chance early. It obviously pays off, but usually in these situations, I like to see the team just get the points on the board and worry about 2 points later when you actually need them.
Senior quarterbacks have historically, of course, been brilliant in the Pac-10, and Clemens a great game here directing this new offense to the near side, incomplete, intended for the lunging Matt Miller.
You know, Billy Mack, one of the stories was how is ASU going to respond after that emotional game that they played a week ago. I can tell you from playing at this level that when you have big games like that and you go through all the blood, sweat, and tears trying to win it, you come up short, it's hard to get that motor up and running. Now, although it's a week in between games, it's still difficult for a football player to get up and be ready to play for the next week. This letdown is not a surprise.
I'll tell you what Dick Cutter said in a minute. Over the middle, caught, should be a first down, Zach Miller. He was trying to get his team, of course, back to business as usual and get their focus attention on this game. And, you know, he said this week, he said, you know, if you look back and you think about what could have been, you're going to lead a miserable life. You have to look what's ahead of you, stay positive, and that's what he was trying to preach to his kids this week.
And that's often difficult being a player, you know, being 18 to 21 years old. You're playing in a big game. You had the national champions on the ropes. And when you lose that game, it's still tough. It's just difficult to be in that situation.
They were banged up, quite obviously. Oh, wide open, caught, and yardage. Jamal Lewis, deep into Duck territory. Here come the Sun Devils, right back. Patrick Chung, last line of defense. First down at the 14 after a 43-yard pass and catch and run.
See, after that catch, Lewis just screaming, let's go, trying to breathe some fire into this offense. All kinds of time for Keller to throw that time. A nice window to throw in, and he's right on the mark to Lewis. Lewis has become a very reliable target for Keller this year with the injury to Zach Miller. Big target is Lewis, 6'4", 221 pounds.
Richardson, the motion man, on first down. Sam Keller looking, throwing, caught. Terry Richardson. He beat Jackie Bates. That's close to a first down. And Keller all of a sudden got a little jump to his step. He seems a little more determined. He's going to have a quick get-together with his coach.
It's all starting with the protection up front. Keller, a nice clean look on an out route to Richardson. Richardson able to separate himself from the defender. And that's the key with Keller. If you give him time to throw, he'll kill you.
You know, new quarterback. We saw the old one with Lindsay and Andrew Walter, new quarterback, but he's got half a dozen experienced receivers coming back to help him along, quite obviously. And
that helps as a quarterback because you have some familiarity in the receiving core. They know where they're supposed to be. They get in the areas they can uncover and make big plays for you. So as a quarterback, you have that comfort zone that you know where the receivers are going to be. You just drop back, go through your progression of reads, and deliver the football.
First and goal, Arizona State, just inside the 5. Rudy Burgess is the back. Rudy Burgess gets the call. Rudy Burgess up and over and down at the 1-yard line. Maybe the 2. 6.5, clock's moving, third quarter. ASU, as they normally do, started quickly. You know, they came in outscoring opponents 35-7. They went on top in the first quarter. They went on top 10-0. Since then, 24 unanswered by Mike Belotti's team.
Good surge up front for the offensive line, going over Grayling Love and Stephen Bird.
Not a bad place to go over Grayling Love. That would be right up the middle. Rolling, Keller, wide open, touchdown! Zach Miller, the truth. Last year's Pac-10 Freshman of the Year. He grabs it for 6.
If there's a time to run this bootleg, it is second and short. You know that Oregon's going to pack the defense in. Keller, nice job of ball faking. Easy toss and throw. Sun Devils answer immediately.
Jesse Ainsworth. Try to make it a 7-point game. Well, you know, at the beginning we promised points, and I think we're going to get them here in the second half. I just got that feeling. Could be end to end.
It all starts with the play fake from Keller. Wide open, the easiest throw he's had to make tonight.
And the big sophomore.
Second down and short. An obvious run down, so if you're going to run that play action fake, that is the down to run it.
Well, you see the confidence in Keller.
And the emotion back in his team.
Yeah, some think he's cocky, some think he's outspoken. His coach will defend him to the nth degree, saying he's a delightful young man. That enthusiasm is real, and it's not cockiness, it's not arrogance, it's just he's a very confident kid. I talked about that it factor for Sam Keller.
And you know what, Billy, you have to have that as a quarterback. I mean, you know, you can call it cocky or confidence, whatever you want to call it, but it's important, and I think it's instilled in every great quarterback. Reason being is because, remember, when you're in the huddle, all the players are looking right into your eyes, and if they see any doubt or any fear in your eyes, it's going to reflect how your team plays. When they see that confidence, that cockiness, as some people might call it, they're going to play that way with that same confidence.
By the way, you saw the 2 tight ends sit next to each other before. Miller, the payoff. Jamal Lewis, remember, had that 42-yard reception in the midst of that 6-play, 69-yard drive that took just 1:25. And all of a sudden, this place, the joint is jumping again. Ainsworth. This is one of the line drive efforts, and it will result in another touchback out to the 20-yard line. Well, next week, our college football doubleheader begins when Temple takes on the 8th-ranked team in the country, the Hurricanes of Miami. Then UCLA, who figures to move up significantly from 16, they battle the Cougs in the Palouse in a Pac-10 showdown. 1 o'clock Eastern Time, 10 o'clock Pacific on FSN. Colin Clemens. Third quarter. Again, it's Whitehead, and again, it's the middle, but this time, not the significant yardage. They've been getting pretty good yardage on first down, JJ, that makes everything just so much simpler. Jamar Williams came in to make the stop.
I really like the play calling, though, by Gary Croton. You know, you've invested in this running game. It's been successful for you. It's like putting money in the bank that you're going to cash in later. That's what the Trojans did a week ago. They ran the ball enough that they wore down this Arizona State defense slowly.
Clemens flips it, Whitehead, first down, 34-yard line. Jordan Hill made the stop. Well, Whitehead is certainly in a zone right now, but, you know, so is Clemens. And we figured we'd see Dennis Dixon at this point somewhere, sometime, but Clemens is in such a rhythm right now, no way you take him out.
And you can watch his body presence. It just seems like he has such a nice feel for the game right now. Look at the confidence, although he just feels like he's just in touch, like a basketball player that keeps hitting three-point shots. He's just in a nice little rhythm, so you don't want to break that. and bring in another quarterback. Clemens is playing well. Stick with what's working for you.
Whitehead gets the breather. Jonathan Stewart comes in. He missed a couple of games this year with an ankle sprain, but he's back to 100%. Ooh, look out. Dangerous pass. That was intended for Rosario. He had to feel and hear the defender bearing down on him. That'll be incomplete.
Just the wrong type of throw by Kellen Clemens that time. He had Rosario running up the seam in front of the safety. That ball has to be a frozen rope to Rosario as opposed to a touch pass, which Clemens attempted.
Well, matching wits now coordinators. Croden for the Ducks. Bill Miller, who was a coordinator under Jimmy Johnson, Ron Zook, Nick Saban. Boy, some pretty darn good head coaches. He's trying to get them dialed in, the Sun Devils, into the right defensive plan. 2nd down and 10. Quick fake. Clemens is in trouble. Clemens still in trouble. Throws it away. Boy, twice he was on the brink of going down, and somehow he saved yardage.
Able to work himself out of trouble. You see Clemens now, he recognizes the pressure is on him here, looking for a way just to get rid of the ball. Poor tackling by the defensive front for Arizona State. Avoided a sack.
Quincy Darley was in on there for Arizona State. Couldn't quite finish the deal. 3rd down. They're 4 for 11 on 3rd downs. Is that correct? 4 for 11?
Crowd starting to get into it.
There it is on the season. Clemens setting up a screen. Picked! Zach Catnees, the junior safety. Right place, right time, big time. ASU's got it again.
Nice play recognition by Catnees. The blitz was on, and when you have a blitz called, it's man coverage behind it. Catnees responsible for Rosario one-on-one. Nice job of play recognition and staying with the tight end. Huge turnover for the Sun Devils.
Remember, Clemens threw his first interception of the year last week at Stanford. He's thrown 2 tonight against the Sun Devil defense. Keller steps up. Keller going long, flag down. 2 flags down. They're holding Terry Richardson. J.D. Nelson was one of them.
Finney was in coverage on Terry Richardson. Richardson immediately threw his hands in the air.
Pass interference, number 31 defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
You know, Terry Richardson is in the same class as Hagan, Derek Hagan. Richardson redshirt, Hagan's a senior, Richardson now a junior. And Richardson was the highly touted one. Hagan, they weren't even looking at him. They found him when they were looking at somebody else on the film. He nearly went to UNLV, but Richardson finally, it looks as though this year, getting into the flow of things. Remember, we mentioned he only came in with 9 catches.
Well, in high school, Terry Richardson was a two-way player, and at the time I saw him at the high school level, I actually thought he would be even a better defensive back than a receiver. Now, the need was at receiver here at Arizona State.
Dead ball, false start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
And so he went to the position where he could see immediate playing time, and it's paid off for him so far as a receiver and a kick returner. But he was a phenomenal two-way player in high school at Corona Centennial, a shutdown corner at the high school level. I thought that would also transcend to college.
That's another Southern California high school, Corona Centennial. ASU, the 2nd most penalized team in the conference. Oregon, we mentioned, was the first. Oh, bad throw, great pick. Taken by Justin Finney. He makes up for it. Finney down the sideline. Finney bumped down at the 34-yard line. Rudy Burgess finally made the stop. Well, it's been an up-and-down day for Finney. Remember, he was burned badly the first touchdown, had a penalty, he's got the pick, he's been in on a lot of plays, and how about this significant run after catch after the interception?
Very nice catch by Phinisee. Oftentimes, defensive backs, the reason there are cornerbacks is because they don't have great hands. Well, that's an outstanding catch by Phinisee. Good run after the catch. Remember, he's also the team's punt returner as well. So a huge turnover. You know, the momentum continues to switch from sideline to sideline. Right now, Oregon has the momentum on their side.
Remember, this is for who's the contender, who's the pretender, perhaps, in this Pac-10. Who's chasing SC and UCLA in the conference? Over the middle, incomplete. Clemens got knocked off his feet. Tim Day, who is having a so-so year himself, was the intended receiver. He's really got a lot of talent, the senior. He's dropped some balls this year, but he's one of those guys you can stick that playmaker tag on. There he is, number 85.
Talked about the importance of this game. Oregon, they still have Cal on their schedule. Arizona State does not play Cal this year. They play UCLA. So, you know, some big games later on in the season, but this one's pivotal for positioning in the Pac-10.
Flag down, no play. You know, you saw Clemens go for Day a moment ago.
Dead ball, false start. Number 61 offense. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Kellen's been pretty good about spreading it around with regularity. He's got 6 receivers that have caught in double digits this year. So he hasn't just locked in, although obviously Demetrius Williams is his guy. He's been able to spread things around, and you would expect that now with this offense that we've tried to talk about a little bit. The offense that they got from BYU, Northwestern, Utah, Tech, Texas Tech, taking bits and pieces. We'll see if it results in a victory. Coming around, Colvin. Upended, 32-yard line. Fumble. Cat-Knees again in on that play. Remember, he made the interception a little bit ago. We've got 4:14. Clock's moving, third quarter.
Max Unger, the left tackle, hustling out to make the play. And you can see him leading this reverse. And watch the ball pop loose. It's Unger who's able to fall on it. Sometimes it's the little plays that make a big difference.
Third down. Ducks have to get to the 23-yard line. Clemens steps up, throws, one-on-one, got a man, incomplete, flag down. Williams one-on-one with Josh Golden. They both went up for the football, flag down, interference.
Pass interference, defense number 23, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's the biggie, the automatic first down. Didn't save a touchdown, though, the interference. Pretty good move, pretty good pocket presence here by Clemens.
Well, Clemens is going to buy time, and that's going to allow Williams to get behind Josh Golden in one-on-one coverage. You see Golden trying to come from behind. It's a hesitation move. Right now, Golden just trying to make up ground and get there. A little bit early, but
barely on the left arm.
A ball that Demetrius Williams will tell you he should have caught.
Fresh set of downs, ball resting squarely on the 20.
Very difficult for defensive backs. Whenever you're in that chase mode, you have no idea when the ball is going to arrive. So you're just trying to make a play on the receiver. The heads-up play by Golden is that he prevented the touchdown, drew the pass interference, but gives his defense another chance.
Kellen Clemens, raised on a ranch in eastern Oregon. Now here in the desert in Tempe, trying to orchestrate a big victory. 10-point underdogs coming in. Oregon Ducks. By the way, in the red zone tonight, 2 for 3, touchdown and a field goal. The points that they've gotten inside the 20.
This has been the Achilles heel for Oregon. They've been very effective in the red zone in terms of scoring, but not a lot of touchdowns. Too many field goals. Coach Bellotti, Coach Curtin said this is a problem they have to fix. They've worked on the red zone. We'll see if it pays dividends.
There's a fake inside. Quickly back. Clemens chased by 3 Devils and throws it away. Throws it right at the feet of Tim Day. Tim Day. Never an opportunity.
Remember, this is a new offense for Kellen Clemens. Being a senior quarterback, he's made the adjustment very nicely to the new offensive schemes and the philosophy that Coach Crowden has brought to this team. It's a combination of a lot of different offenses. We've talked about it, a little Utah, Northwestern, Bowling Green, Texas Tech, Oregon, all mixed into one.
But then it's funny, it's the smash mouth football that has been a real presence also. Third down at the 15. 4 out of 12 on third down. Whitehead in the backfield. He's been the predominant back. He'll get the pitch, trying to run for the first down. Gonna have to kick it into another gear. Dives for the first down. Has it with the spot inside the 10. Great effort. Terrence Whitehead, the senior. The returning 1,000-yard rusher. He's done it a couple times.
Unbalanced line to the right and a simple toss to Whitehead. He loses the one-on-one tackle by Maurice Golden. The second effort, you know he knew exactly where the first down marker was, and he lunged to get across.
You know, this is a game that everybody knew Whitehead had in him. He came in averaging just 44 yards a game and 3 yards a carry. Jonathan Stewart now in. Jonathan Stewart up the middle. Stood up. Thrown down. Gain of a couple.
You mentioned the ineffectiveness of Terrence Whitehead to this point in the season, largely due to the amount of injuries that he's incurred in the season. Of course, dating back to last year, he had some troubles with the groin earlier. The hamstring has bothered him. And so with that, he's gained a couple extra pounds as well. They listed at 225. Well, the coaches tell us he's down to about 215. That's a great playing weight for Terrence Whitehead. That's when he's most effective and most elusive. You can see how much better he looks tonight as compared to any other time this season.
On the other side now, this nicked up defensive Arizona State trying to hold Oregon to just 3. Clemens can run for it if he wants to. And he is nailed right at the 1-yard line. Boy, he hesitated just a half a beat, and that caused him not to get in, and Clemens is really hurt. And so is Robinson. That was a major league collision, and with 2 big-time players.
Wow. Kellen Clemens has the mentality of a linebacker, and that's what often can get you in trouble as a quarterback. Watch, he's going to try to surge across, and a huge hit by Josh Golden.
It was Golden, yeah, who delivered the major. I think he got part of his teammate, too. He did. He might have gotten Robinson even more.
He knocked the helmet off of Dale Robinson. The referee's meeting to see if that was a fumble, but take a listen to that hit. That's big time. Referees now having the discussion whether the ball was a fumble.
The ruling on the field is that the Oregon runner fumbled the ball prior to getting in the end zone. The ball was recovered by an Oregon player and taken in the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow.
This will draw some boos, but it'll also draw a review, I'm sure.
Cameron Colvin, the one. Let's look at it again. Boy, we were so preoccupied with the hit. Looks like nearly a face mask. Was a face mask at the end of the play. There's the fumble.
The ruling on the field is under review.
And then all Colvin did was pick it up.
The question is Clemens' knee hit the ground before the ball is loose?
Well, it's very close. It was shielded that time. I think
okay, watch the knees of Clemens. There.
Down. He's down.
He's down there.
He's down. This should be reversed.
And although the ball's jarred loose.
Although weird doing a game with UCLA and Washington when a questionable call was made from up above. And I know there was one that was questionable here at ASU a couple of weeks ago.
Would you call that call questionable or just bad?
I'm trying to be
politically correct?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I'm going to call you.
Which one? The UCLA one or the USC one?
The UCLA one. He wasn't across the line. That was a fumble.
Should have been a fumble, not the ball at the 1-yard line. But that is a week ago in old news. This should be down at the 1-yard line. It may just delay the inevitable. But I think it is just clear evidence that he's down at the 1-yard line before the fumble. Agree?
I do. And I think the referees will have the same angle as we did. They'll be able to take a look at it and see the knee was on the ground, and they'll rule him down at the 1.
We may be able to bring Lindsey here in a little bit. I know Lindsey has gone in and looked into this replay situation over the last couple of weeks and what the Pac-10 thinks about it. He's researched it a bit.
I'll tell you what.
After video review, there is conclusive evidence that the runner's knee was down prior to the fumble. Therefore, it is third down at the 1 yard line.
I guess there is justice in the world for the time being.
Well, that's the right call.
Yeah.
That is the right call.
But as mentioned, for Oregon, it might just be delaying them going into the end zone. But remember now, it's setting up a third down. Third down. This would be a huge stand for the Sun Devils. And a food for thought play if Oregon doesn't get in for Coach Bellotti.
Well, the Ducks have to view this as 4-down territory. I think at this point, your offensive line has been dominant. You put money in the bank, so to speak, by running and wearing down the defensive front for the Arizona State Sun Devils. You have 1 yard to go, 2 plays. I think that you put it on your offensive line. You tell them, look, we're going to run 2 plays. We're going to put it on your back to get in, and we're going to go right
Think
at
about this. They've had success right up the middle.
1:56 on the clock.
They're going to add 3
1
seconds.
minute, 56 seconds.
They've had success right up the middle. ASU stands to probably stack up right over Grayling Love. Or rather, excuse me, Anoka Luke's side. Right over Lucas. But as mentioned, they've had some great success up the middle. Plays that they can work to. You going up the middle, you going outside here?
I think you go right 360 on that left side.
And you got Whitehead behind. Up the middle. Down. Mike Talbot was in the backfield. Intended again for Terry Richardson. Boy, it's been Richardson the main target tonight, not Hagan.
Well, there's a lot of attention being paid to Derek Hagan. Sam Keller, Dirk Cutter, attempting to make the adjustment and get other players involved. How about the defensive play? It's a nice job coming over. J.D. Nelson.
Well timed.
Leads the team in tackles with 36 coming into tonight. Had a career day against the Trojans, 13 tackles in that game. Nice job in the secondary and coverage.
Keller with Burgess, fakes it to Rudy, steps up, throws. Well, it's going to be third down and long. That time Hagan again. Remember I mentioned earlier about Jerry Rice. Nobody's going to outwork Derek Hagan. Just smart, precise routes, and he can outmuscle guys with that side. Coach Cutter now faces another third.
You have to appreciate guys like Derek Hagan. Look around the Pac-10. You got Haas, who's having a great year, an unsung guy, walk on at one point. Derek Hagan, not the most highly recruited guy coming out of high school, but they've worked themselves to be the best in the Pac-10.
Third down, stepping up, throwing. There's the man, Hagan, and he's getting himself fired up. Past another JJ, John Jefferson, all sorts of records here at Arizona State. Has a catch in 35 straight games, and that's a big one.
Nice job of pushing by Hagan. Good presence on the sideline. See Keller, he's going to stick with his money receiver all the way. Delivers a strike.
Beats Jackie Bates. Sophomore corner. Half a minute remaining, third quarter. Should be a great fourth. Get comfortable, stick around. College football Saturday coming to a close here in the Pac-10. Keller dumps it out to the near side. Burgess close to a first down. He can run, he can catch. In fact, they mention the word Reggie Bush when they talk about Burgess. Not as dangerous, but they can move him around and do the same kind of things. That's what they're going to want to do with him as this year progresses.
Well, he's really effective as a receiver out of the backfield. We talked about it a little bit earlier that he was a receiver converted back to tailback because of the need for Arizona State at the running back position. With the development of Keegan Herring, I would be surprised to see Burgess move back to receiver next year with the departure of Derek Hagan.
Keller steps up, hit! The ball's loose. It's picked up by an offensive lineman. Is that Stephen Burke? We'll see where the fumble picked out. It is Burke. It's the 6'6" junior, 300-pound guard.
Sun Devils very fortunate to get this one back. The ball just ends up in the hands of Berg, and a lineman's dream to have a chance to carry the football. Once again, pressure on Keller.
That's Anthony Trucks, who forced the dislodging of the football, and that'll do it for the third period. Boy, the intensity level picked up in this third quarter. And we got 15 minutes of football remaining. We're live in Tempe, Arizona. Somebody's trying to go 2-1 in the Pac-10. Ducks or Devils? Oregon with a touchdown lead. Back in a minute.
When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with
Some
you.
people are happier at work than others. They're using Kyocera printers and copiers. Kyocera, brilliant color, advanced technology that's simple to use, and a low cost of ownership. They're people-friendly. People-friendly printers and copiers. Only from Kyocera.
The whole world smiles with you.
Why are the Honda Rancher and Foreman family of ATVs the best-selling on Earth? Because of exclusive Honda technology like selectable 2- or 4-wheel drive on the fly, beltless automatic transmission, easy push-button shifting, and the only integrated ATV navigation system. There are a lot of reasons why the Rancher and Foreman are the best-selling and most reliable on Earth, but the most important, it's a Honda. Get 6.9 fixed APR on your Honda card plus 2 years of Honda protection on every ATV for $69. Hurry in. Offers end October 31st.
Before winning the World Series of Poker, my life was quite different. I was your typical 9-to-5-er. Get up, go to the office, work on the computer all day, come home, play with my daughter, eat dinner with the family, put my daughter to bed, and play some online poker at PokerStars. Playing poker on the internet at PokerStars is very convenient. Go to PokerStars, you're in a game in seconds, playing poker for as long or as short a time as you like. I'm just a normal guy who likes to play poker, and PokerStars.net is a great way to improve your game.
Hey, what are you doing?
I'm waiting.
Come on, let's go.
Where?
Over there. What's your name?
Jerry.
Jerry, you know what a skid plate is for? Off-road stabilizer bars? A locking rear differential? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jerry!
Chevy Silverado, an American Revolution.
Kyocera bringing you a college football Saturday night, coast to coast on FSN. I'm Bill McDonald with John Jackson, Lindsey Soto, and our great crew here. It's second down as we change ends and start the fourth quarter. Keller lofting one up, trying to run under it. Little late hit. Hagan coming over. Late flag. J.D. Nelson. You know, when we talked to Mike Bellotti about all of the penalties that Oregon has incurred, and they have more than anybody, he said most of them were not after the whistle. That certainly was after the play right there.
Being the most penalized team, you don't mind if they're hustle type of penalties.
Dead ball, personal foul, number 28 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
This is not a hustle penalty. This is just a late hit.
Delivered by Nelson on Hagan, who has 4 catches tonight for 46 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, he wasn't even paying attention. He figured there's no chance I'm getting level.
You know, in defense of Nelson, though, it happens so fast. One step in the hit. It was a late hit, a good call.
Keller's going down. Anthony Trucks, the Sambacker. Boy, and they said he got to step up, and he did. He played just one snap against SC a couple of weeks ago with an ankle, played very well last week, started kicking it into gear on the come, as they say, against Stanford. He made the sack.
And when we talked to Coach Aliotti this week, he said he was a little bit concerned because Trucks didn't practice until Wednesday.
He's one of 5 guys that didn't practice.
Limited in practice, but stepping up on Saturday.
A little concerned about that mini vacation that 5 of his players were taking.
All coaches are worried about it.
Everybody's dinged up this time of year. Quick short throw over the middle. That's going to be caught by Lee Burgraff. Boy, Burgraff had a great moment last week against USC. He caught the touchdown pass late in the fourth quarter to actually take the lead. It was his first touchdown as a Sun Devil. He's been in this program for, what, 5 years. That could have been a very heroic moment for him. All right, the first down line is being brought to you by Overstock.com. Save up to 70% every day because it's all about the O. Third down from the 45 of Arizona State. Quarterback Keller steps up, had time, it collapsed quickly on him. And Devin Long put the heat on. Brendan Rod down there. There's Devin Long. You know, Oregon hasn't had an all Pac-10 lineman since the early 90s. It's been that long.
And it's amazing because...
No pun intended with Devin.
Well, it's amazing because of how well this Oregon team has been over the course of those years.
Yeah. Finney.
They're playing like All-Americans tonight.
Remember, McDonald's had one blocked. 2 now on the season. Takes a while to get rid of it. And a low delivery. Finney, fair catch, 12-yard line. And a little fourth quarter action for you right here on FSN. Ducks have it.
They said my party days are behind me. I say the party's just getting started.
Learn to play poker with thousands of other players right now at partypoker.net. You can check your email. You can have fun playing poker at Party Poker. Party Poker, the world's largest poker school. It's fun and real easy.
Nobody can do what Maaco does. Maaco can repaint your entire car, fast. In most cases, just a few days. Our economical Ambassador paint service is only $1.99. Maaco delivers a quality paint service for less. How does Maaco do all this for as little as $1.99? Easy, because we paint more than anyone, and we can paint them for less. When it's time to paint your car, make it easy, make it right, make it Maaco.
24-17. Remember earlier I was talking about how LenDale White might be again the Pac-10 Offensive Player of the Week. Well, that's before some other numbers came in on the election. Maurice Drew at 5, and look what Whitehead's been doing.
Yeah, White had 180 yards and 4 touchdowns. The Trojans beat Arizona. And you mentioned Maurice Drew at 5 touchdowns today in a variety of ways, rushing, receiving, returns, and of course tonight we're getting a chance to watch another great performance by Terrence Whitehead. USC, UCLA wins. Terrence Whitehead has his team in position to win.
Trying to get over 200 in total yards. See if he can do it on this drive. He's in the backfield and he has the football. And he's got yardage. And he's going to have more yardage. He's well over 200 for the game. Total yards. And he's out across the 40 to the 45. 36 yards. Hello, Terrence Whitehead.
The old Terrence Whitehead is back. Over 1,100 yards a year ago, and it was in this type of variety. He was a slashing type of runner who gets into the secondary, makes quick moves. Good speed, not great, but more known for his shiftiness, able to slip tackles, and he plays bigger than he actually is. We talked about that he's 215 pounds, 5'10", but he plays much bigger, a good runner in between the tackles.
Kellen Clemens is the quarterback. He's going to get the trick play back to him. Under pressure, throws and completes it. Little safety valve pass over the middle as he rolled out. By the way, just to go back to Whitehead, and when we say that he's back, well, we'll get it after the replay. He was involved in this one.
Well, if this would have worked for a second time, I would have known that something is up. Remember they tried that in the first quarter. It worked for a big play to Demetrius Williams.
Ryan Keeling, the reception. By the way, Whitehead, he is back. He only had 177 yards into the game. Rushing. He's got 126 tonight. Remember, he didn't play last week. Clemens, option, pitches it out of bounds. That was Jonathan Stewart in the backfield, missing the connection. Or was that the pitch man? I think Stewart might have been up in the middle. Might have been Finley, the pitch man. The bells tolling in the background. They do it in the Coliseum for USC. They do it here, too, on third down. Getting the defense and the fans all geeked up.
This is a big third down. You can feel the electricity in the crowd. It's going to have to come from the defense. They're going to have to be the ones to get this team back in it. Big third down play here.
Stewart in the background. In the backfield, here comes the blitz. Here's the throw, caught, hammered out of bounds. Is number 19, and that's Paysinger. We saw him earlier, Brian Paysinger, the sophomore. He's a pretty big target too, JJ. 6'2" and over 200 pounds.
Nice job by Paysinger making the catch. He's going to take a big hit and able to hold on to it. More importantly, gets his feet in bounds. We'll see if it's enough for the first down. They're going to mark him short.
Fourth down. Bellotti with confidence. Says, let's give it a go. Remember, in the third quarter, Arizona State, the Devils, a huge goal line stand. Can they do it again? Jonathan Stewart, big back in the backfield. He gets the call. He's got the first down and more. Breaks it into the secondary, rides a player down to the 32-yard line. That, ladies and gentlemen, is confidence from an offense right around midfield. You're going for it from the 44-yard line. Jonathan Stewart, they move the chains for the Ducks.
I love the confidence. I love the call by Gary Croton, the offensive coordinator for the Ducks. He goes over that right side, over 700 pounds of beef over there. They do a nice job of getting some push. Give it to the power back in Stewart. I like that. You know, you have to play to win, not play to hold on.
Sun Devils, 19 weeks in a row in the top 25. They last had a run like this in 86, 87. That could be in jeopardy. Stewart can't find anything. Here's another good stat about the consistency of Dirk Cutter's team, or at least their ability to bounce back after a loss. You know, the Sun Devils have not lost back-to-back games since late 2003. They go down, they normally step right back up. They're down by 7 here in the fourth.
In this case, they played two very difficult teams back-to-back. Of course, the Trojans, they're ranked number 1 in the entire country. And then Oregon, a hungry team, who is also ranked in the top 25. So a difficult back-to-back home-and-home series for the Arizona State Sun Devils.
Yeah, it depends on which polls you're looking at. Clemens over the middle. Demetrius Williams. That is magic for Oregon. 24 yards and a score. 34. Let's give him an extra 10. 34 in the score.
One-on-one coverage. Williams does a nice job getting inside on the fade route and beats one-on-one coverage. You know, as a receiver, when you are one-on-one, you have that choice. You don't always have to go outside on your fade routes. You just have to beat the defender. If you get inside, it opens up an easy passing lane for the quarterback, which is exactly what Williams did on that last play.
Kick is good. He beat Keno Walter White. Demetrius Williams, he's on pace to become the all-time and single-season receiver in Oregon history. He'll just take the 6th tonight in the desert.
10 storied schools. He does! He did! Thousands of athletes. Now, one bank that congratulates them all. U.S. Bank. And with over 4,600 ATMs across the country and over 2,300 branches, it's easy to find U.S. Bank any place Pac-10 fans work, live, travel, or play. 5-star service guaranteed and the official bank of the Pac-10. U.S. Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Find exactly the new car you're looking for. Search actual inventories across the U.S. or within a few miles. Online at VX.com. Roadmap to the automotive world.
No rolling luggage. That's why Geico.com is so simple. Or is it because you can chat with an associate if you need help and get a free rate quote in minutes? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as...
You're watching FSN Rocky Mountain, where Rocky Mountain fans come first.
7 plays, 88 yards, 34 yards on the touchdown. It took a minute 55. Demetrius Williams, the senior, with the touchdown. You know, having some reliable targets opposite him has really opened things up for number 6. Kick goes 5-6 yards deep. All right, the powerful protector brought to you by Fellows Shredders.
When you have a touchdown that works so beautifully, it's good protection that gives Clemens the time to throw. You see, in the pocket, untouched, and then Williams, he knows he has one-on-one coverage. You can go the inside or outside as a receiver. Clemens and Williams, they've worked together many years. They did a good job of recognizing that he got inside of the defender, makes the throw much easier for the quarterback. Senior quarterback, veteran, he's going to be on the mark when you give him that much time.
You know, that's the protector, but it can also be the shredding of the defense right there. That would work well for that play. Terry Richardson, a couple yards.
We've mentioned receiving matchups and how important they would be. Demetrius Williams, 3 catches tonight, 108 yards and a touchdown. Derek Hagan, 4 catches, 46 yards and a touchdown. So both of them have had slow nights, but both of them have been able to get it into the painted area of the end zone.
You know, it's interesting. Oregon chucks a relatively reliable offense, and then they get this new offense. They got nearly 500 yards and nearly a pick on the tip play intended for Miller, the talented sophomore, the fearless one going over the middle. Boy, this conference is loaded with great tight ends. Mercedes Lewis, Dominic Byrd, Zach Miller. We're going to look for tight ends.
Tim Day.
Come West, young man. Yep, Tim Day, of course. I want to leave him out for Oregon. 3rd down. Not quite in must-convert territory, but pretty close, down by 2 touchdowns. Sam steps up. Down he goes. Again, Anthony Trucks. What a game.
Well, Trucks did a nice job of disguising the blitz. He's going to come from the bottom of your screen, but he didn't come close to the line of scrimmage. You see, he sort of walked up slowly, sort of a delayed blitz, didn't give the lineman enough time to make the call, to make sure they got protection, to pick up Trucks one-on-one at the quarterback, and you know, he's played a great game tonight.
You know, they're missing some depth there with A.J. Tuatelli out, since everybody else has kind of stepped up, moved around, and it's worked well. Almost nearly blocked again. Justin Finnessy. Let's see if he's got some room. Pretty good block there. Dancing around there. And doesn't get anywhere else. 51-yard kick. Now still 10 minutes to go, but facing a tough battle, the Sun Devils of Arizona State.
The whole world smiles with
Some
you.
people are happier at work than others. They're using Kyocera printers and copiers. Kyocera, brilliant color, advanced technology that's simple to use, and a low cost of ownership. They're people-friendly. People-friendly printers and copiers. Only from Kyocera.
The whole world smiles.